No man do they call me, my mother and my father, and all my comrades as well. Hey everybody who is viewing this on recording, because currently we do not have anyone in chat. But I wanted to have a chill stream today. It's just been a busy week, and I have other stuff going on. So I just wanted to take some time. I wanted to take some time and talk about the setting of Depurium, where it came from, what's all going on with it, um, where I want it to go, what I kind of want to do with it, what the inspirations were for it. Hey, Miles, how's it going? Got a couple people here. All right, we got 4 people. 4 people within a minute. I can do a show for 4 people. So I want to talk about Depurium. The other thing I want to talk about, the other thing that I want to do today is Q&A stuff. I'm cool with you guys if you want to throw in a super chat, ask a question. That's going to be real cool. I'm fine answering whatever questions people are asking. However, the reason that this is a special stream is because it is going to be a drunk stream. It's Friday. It's been a tough week, and it's the beginning of probably what's going to be a number of tough weeks for a while, for the foreseeable future. And I got my drinks going on. So got some dark rum. I'm going to start with some rum and Coke. So this is the way drunk stream's going to go. You guys can donate super chats for me to take a drink. I'm going to be drinking already. And I also have some tequila. And I'm trying to balance this out because I don't want to, end my day right here and not be able to literally do anything else. So I am going to tentatively say that if people donate I'm going to say $20 or more. Now I'm going to kick it up to 25. Because people will do. I'm going to kick it up to 25. I will do a shot of tequila. Now I'm trying to do the calculus so I don't get too messed up here. Like I said, I do theoretically want to do things later today. But if I get a little goofy, that's what I'm here for. We got some people. Got Miles is in here. Lade Jasuo, Second Grand Company. Aaron Lee. King Lich. See, people are coming from the video I did today. I like to do a short video on stream days, like keep it up, keep it going, because I kind of was like, I don't want to have stream days take up a content day. Like I don't want to, because I think most of my stuff comes from, most of my viewership is here for the edited content, my stories and so forth. And I wanted to start doing streams because I think I didn't really know what to do when I started them, and I kind of just did random stuff. But starting with Q&As and then getting more creative with it. But I think it's going in the streaming is a good addition to the channel, but I don't want it to take up that content slot. I don't want it to replace a Friday video. So Friday videos are short, but I think they're generally pretty entertaining. And today I was like, nah, I actually haven't done a recording of just me yelling wah, which seems odd given my propensity to do orcs, and it's a thing. It's an audio thing that other people can use. Like if you extract the audio from a YouTube video, which there's websites you can do it on. You just got to find the ones that don't cram your PC full of spyware and stuff. Then then you know it's just a useful thing to put out there, and I think it's fun. All right, so getting on track, and basically this stream's gonna go until I'm like, because there is a point where I get drunk and I'm not entertaining, I'm just drunk. And if I get sloppy, I'm be like, "Hi guys, I'm just a mess. I'm gonna tap out here." But I think we'll start off. We got some people here. We got 9 people, and my computer's trying to get me to update things. I don't want to. I'm streaming. But I wanted to talk about Depurium, De Emprah, and I've talked about this before, but I don't know. It just seems like it's gotten bigger. It's gotten more ambitious. Because originally it was the very start of Depurium was based off of a Reddit post someone made. I'm not on Reddit very often anymore, but there was like a period of time where I got into Reddit mostly for Warhammer stuff. I was on Wholesome 40k r/Wholesome 40k for a while, and that was actually where I first posted Og the Ogren, and I was posting a bunch of stuff on there. But I saw a guy who was doing an orc army that was based off of the different legions, the different Space Marine legions. So he made the Ultramarons. I have the original Reddit thread linked in my Space Morons video, so you can actually still see what the guy was working on. And he did a bunch of different stuff. So if you follow him, you can get the links to all of his models that he did, because he was the one who I used Ultramarons and Space Morons from him, and I also used the Imperial Gits because I just thought that was so funny. One lone orc left to steal the loot from Captain Toothbreaker. Oh, I probably ought to say this orky. Hold on.
One lone orc left to steal the loot, wishing it hadn't turned out so, grunting itself through big sharp teeth, saying, "Or should have let the pilot go."
I'm trying to understand what this is. One lone orc left to steal loot, wishing it hadn't turned out so, grunting to itself through big sharp teeth. Oh, that's a reference to something. I'm blanking on what that is. Reading the Rabushan Heresy right now. What's your opinion on that fan work? Not sure. I haven't read it. I think it's an interesting idea, especially given the stuff with Imperium Secundus. Yeah, that sounded like a song. It's like I couldn't remember what. Again, I don't know what the song is off the top of my head, but I might recognize it if I heard it. But the origin of Depurium started with that Reddit post, and it started off just as a very short thing, where I was just going to redo the Emperor's speech about Space Marines. They are my space Marines, and they shall know no fear. There's a whole speech of that, with the mightiest weapons they shall wield, and the etc. And I wanted to do that as an orc version, and then I did it. I wrote it down, and I was like, I want like an introduction, and so I wrote the introduction to it of where De Emprah came from. That it's like, here's De Emprah. He basically got hit on the head, and now thinks he's the Emperor. And that was kind of the start of things. Now, the idea is not a new one. The Orcperium is actually I think it's canon. I don't think it's been retconned, but there was a group of orcs at one point, and I'm pretty sure it might be fan content, but I think it's official. There was a group of orcs who saw the power of the Imperium. Oh, right, the battle of the one orc left to steal the loot. Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The orc, the orc, what's it called? Cinematic intro. Okay, so that's what it's from. Yeah, I've heard that. That was why it sounded familiar. But getting back on track, the Orcperium was a group of orcs that was like the emperor is really strong. We keep seeing all of these statues to the emperor, and we see the imperial symbols, the aquila, all the skulls. Clearly, these are strong symbols of power because even humies with these symbols can defeat orcs. So they started using imperial. They started using imperial symbolism, and they also sort of thought themselves as allied with the Imperium because they would like get involved in fights and mostly focus on enemies of the Imperium and not the Imperium itself. However, the Imperium was perfectly happy to kill these orcs whenever they cropped up. And I think some of the knobs in Deperium, or in the Orcperium rather, had made themselves look like Primarchs. Like there was a I don't remember who all they had. I think they had Rabute Gilliman, and I think they had somebody else, but I don't remember which guys they had who were based off of Primarch. So that exists. But basically, the orcs dressing up like the Imperium is not a new idea. There's a lot of fan art that does it. There's a lot of different people who've done Imperial orcs in one way or another. So my idea is not new. Um, yeah, my idea is not new, and I don't want to like ever make it sound like this is my unique idea that nobody else has ever come up with. Um, I think the thing that makes Depurium different from the Orcperium is that I've fleshed it out a lot. There's a lot of stuff going on, and a lot of it's just kind of random things that I've sort of added. Like there was, I sort of like the idea of having the orcs kind of goofily parallel the Horus Heresy. Um, and I went from the beginning. I knew I was like, I'm not going to do the entire. I can't do everything in the Horus Heresy. It's too much stuff, and I'm not prepared to read all the books and like have everything perfectly parallel. It's just too much stuff. It's way too much stuff. Um, so I kind of like hit some of the big notes, and I also altered things um, to make sure that to have it account for the fact that chaos wouldn't be involved. Like orcs aren't going to be corrupted by chaos, at least not en masse. It just never happened before. There might be a group of orcs that gets converted or something weird happens. I think they've had. Um, I lost my train of thought. I'm trying to read chat and like talk about things. Um, but yeah, I think the Depurium kind of became its own thing. It has a lot of interesting. Um, it has kind of gone off and become its own thing. Uh, yeah, but the original idea was to make it parallel, like I said, parallel the Horus Heresy, and then be a little bit different. And one of the things that I was originally going to have was the original planned ending was for literally the same thing to happen for Horus and De Emprah to have their duel, to have Horus defeat De Emprah and have De Emprah on the Green Throne. And then my plan actually was what the whole end of the series was going to be. I actually had originally planned it as just a joke, like the whole thing just being completely silly and stupid, and basically the Emperor and Horus have their battle. Emperor gets interred in the Green Throne, and then after about 100 years, the Green Throne explodes because it's orc technology. So that was my original idea, except the series took a turn when I introduced the idea of fate and kind of started exploring why things were happening, why excuse me, I'm taking drinks. For anybody who wasn't here from the very beginning, you guys can donate to make me drink. People who want to can donate to make me do a shot of tequila, and that would be 25 bucks or higher. I will do a shot of tequila, and things will start getting goofy. I will probably, if I start getting drunk, I'm probably not gonna. I'm gonna stop sharing my thoughts on Depurium and kind of just goof around with you guys. But kind of getting back on track, Depurium. Yeah, it all sort of changed when I did the whole bit about fate and why it's happening and kind of hint as to why it's happening. And I don't think I'm ever going to explain exactly, like I do have planned out like what happened exactly and why fate is repeating itself. And it's sort of hinted at, but I'm not ever going to come out and explain it is the thing. It's like that's not, fate is not something that you write complete rules for or have it completely explained, because it's something I think fate is kind of a thing, is almost like a religious sort of thing. It's like if you completely explain what like a god, what gods are, or if you completely explain what fate is, a lot of the interesting stuff in mystery is kind of lost. I did enjoy the latest input from Septimus that Depurium is arguably one of the better places for humans. For humans, all things considered, I'm kind of trying to make Depurium a place where humans exist, and it's kind of going to be like the Imperium in that there are people that are really that genuinely have dedication to Depurium. Probably not as zealously as some of the religious fanaticism of the Imperium of Man, but I did want to create something where humans might actually be able to survive and might be willing to defend what exists. All right, here we go. I got my shot glass here. It looks bigger than it is. That's a little dragon dude. All right, old man Skeletal had to be the one to do it. Of course it was you. Of course it was you. I do in fact have my tequila, which I can't get into camera. Just wanted to say I love your work. Also, drink the beverage so that I may be entertained. Spooktober Ascendant. Are you getting back at me because I did orc content instead of Necron content? Getting back at me. All right. Thank you very much for the donation. I guess we're getting this party started at 18:55. Taking the drink. Slanche. Ooh, okay. Ooh. Oh man, it's been a while since I've had straight tequila. I'm not a young man anymore. I am not a college age kid having wild bangers anymore. I'm in my mid-30s, about to be late 30s. It's gonna get interesting. It's gonna get interesting. Whew. All right. Thus it begins. So, with much thanks and props to Old Man Skeletal, I think maybe just a little bit. Yeah, you got me. You got me a little bit. Let's see that's going to take a little bit to kick in, but we'll see how silly this gets and how much of a mess it gets. So Depurium, what it eventually became over the course of it, first of all, I started really liking Emprah, like beyond just being a punchline. I liked him as an idea. I liked him as a figure. I liked the way he saw things. I thought adding in Malkadork really helped shape his character. Um, thought Airy Boss was a nice complete get. I thought I captured his gittishness in the form of an orc. Orc Gar was a lot of fun. He was he was fun. And so what eventually kind of happened once I had Depurium is I felt like I just had this whole. Essentially, I'd created an RPG setting, like a role play setting, and a lot of people on my Discord have done at this point probably a lot of role plays with either in Depurium or people play characters that are from Depurium, whether they're human or orc. I've seen a number of those. I've run at least one game which took place in Depurium. Now there are some details which I've kind of hinted at as far as humans getting along in Depurium, and I said this in the Smart Boy Septimus guide, is things are not great because orcs don't understand how to protect people, and they don't understand how vulnerable human civilians are. Orcs kind of operate in cartoon logic, and they don't understand that if you hit somebody with a hammer, they don't turn into a pancake and then pop back up like nothing happened. Like that's nearing the level of how violent orcs are and how resilient they are. Humans are not that way. If you smash a human, so one of the things that I wanted to kind of hint at was that there, in the wake of Daoris Heresy, there were a lot of human rebellions in the wake of it because the uniting force of Emprah was gone. Things kind of got fractured. It was just kind of a big mess. A lot of the orcs had died, and they hadn't sprouted up. Orcs probably weren't as gung-ho about protecting Humies in the wake of the Emperor disappearing. There's also differences between the different legions that are more or less about protecting Humies. So, and that's kind of where I think it's most interesting is like now I just have this whole playground where I can do random stuff. Like the orcs discussing philosophy is just a way of exploring more just little details about Depurium, and I guess if I had a goal for what would happen with Depurium, I would love it to be kind of a Warhammer fandom thing that exists that people have as kind of a fan canon, that people build armies based off Depurium. You might, or write stories about Depurium, have role plays about Depurium. And this actually brings me to something that I want to do, which is I want to, I'll do a community post about this as well, but I think what I want to do is I want to get submissions from my fans of one-off stories that take place in Depurium. And I'm thinking of either doing a video, like an edited video, where I'm doing I'm reading this off, where I'm basically reading everyone the different submitted fan things, or if I wanted to like compile them into like either do it as a stream or compile them into like edited stuff. And of course, give credit to people. If you guys have YouTube's, link to that. If you have like Patreons, I can link to that. If you have a somewhere where somebody can contact you for commissions or whatever, I want to be able to do that shout out for you guys. So let's take a look. I got a question. Don't get too serious though. Orcs should be funny. Yes, orcs should be funny. Yeah, there's no way that orcs are ever going to... I don't think I've ever played a completely serious orc. Like, it's more like orcs are a weird balance because you have to be funny, but if they're just... If they're not trying to accomplish anything meaningful, if it's just, wah, let's fight and let's do silly things, the story loses oomph for me. Like, I need to have things that the orcs are trying to accomplish. Orcs need a goal. If orcs don't have a goal, they're kind of boring. Funny to have them bounce off, but like they're not like long-term funny. They're funny to run into every once in a while. It's if you're going to have orcs be the center of a story, they have to have something grounding them. They have to have goals. They have to have different personalities to make them come into conflict. But yeah. All right. Do I watch other content creators to inspire my ideas? Big inspiration was Lord Voldemort. Now I haven't been watching. I also watch Major Kill, who has changed a lot over the years, and I think he sort of recognizes that. He did a I think, I don't remember if it was in his video where he passed Arch or something. There was one of his more recent videos where he talked about that he used to be an edgelord who did like dumb offensive content. And I'm not going to hold it against him because I think he's grown and he still is edgy, but it's not like cringy edgy as much. I don't know if he's like someone that I model my stuff after because he's purely a lore guy, and I would say Oculus is like, I haven't heard as much of his stuff, but I like his style. Smart Boy Septimus is probably at least partially inspired by Oculus, and maybe I give Oculus a shout out because I do really like Smart Boy Septimus. I like Smart Boy Septimus. I really like that's probably my of my three favorite characters from Deperium. It's like I really like Malkadork, I really like the Emprah, but as I've been going on with Orc philosophy, I really like Smart Boy Thinky Pants. 99% because I think his name is really funny. Zork Gorkson and Smart Boy Septimus. I think it's hard to do sometimes where I have an excuse for all three of them to be together at the same time. But I liked the Kant and Bentham, the utilitarian versus deontology debate. I really liked the bit where Septimus is trying to explain why the source of morality is important to humans. No, you don't understand. There's whether it's different. Septimus, shut up. I very much enjoy that aspect because you kind of because they're kind of all on a spectrum of you have Zork Gorkson, he's an orc. He's just an orc. He's very blunt. He's very to the point. He's learning things and he's changing, and he's developing. But he's basically just a baseline orc. And Smart Boy Septimus is a smart human who like understands orcs, but he's not an orc and he can't be an orc. Whereas Smart Boy Thinky Pants is a nice bridge because he is both a smart boy and an orc. So and he's studying humans, so he understands how humans work, but he's also not a human. He is an orc, and that's why he can kind of be friends with both Zork Gorkson and Smart Boy Thinky and Smart Boy Septimus. So I love the philosophy. So a little bit of background on doing Orcs Discuss Philosophy. If you didn't guess, I took philosophy in undergrad. I minored in it. I could have majored in it, but it would have required like another class and a lot more work. And I was lazy in college, and I was like, do work. I don't want to do work. I'll just graduate with an English degree and a philosophy minor. That's fine. I'll get a philosophy minor. That's cool. Question: is this me or is Zork Gorkson genuinely getting smarter? Yep, he's genuinely getting smarter. Well, he's learning things. Orcs are not stupid. They're just not typically inclined to learn things. And Zork Gorkson isn't trying to learn things. He's not really, or he doesn't think he's interested in what Smart Boy Thinky Pants is talking about. I think he's interested in what Smart Boy Thinky Pants is talking about because it makes him mad, and he likes being mad. I sort of like that both of them are learning, because it's not just Zork Gorkson who's learning. Smart Boy Thinky Pants is learning, because there's a lot of stuff they didn't understand when I started the series that they have come to understand, largely because of Smart Boy Septimus and working with them. Orcs aren't stupid. They just found that they just sound that way because they're rebelling against the feral nature. They have a language and hate using it. The orcs are not stupid. They sound stupid. What I like to say is that the way orcs talk, all of the orky talk, so gubbins and talking like this and say nice dead odd and using a lot of orkyisms. No, they're not actually speaking a different language. Well, they are speaking a different language, but it is literally what it sounds like in the it is just modified Low Gothic, which is English, but it is different enough that it's considered a different language. And I've actually talked to a number of people who are English is not their first language, and they just cannot understand what the heck orcs are saying. Orc talk is kind of like Creole. If you've ever heard Haitian Creole, I speak a little bit of French. Anytime I hear Haitians talk, I have no idea what they're saying. Because in Creole, a lot of the words are different. A lot of the pronunciations are different. Syllables are dropped or added. There's a bunch of things that make it sound different. But I think if you're a native French speaker, you could probably understand most of Creole. And I've found that being an American, there's a lot of American accents that are very difficult for foreigners to understand. A lot of Black dialect, a lot of African American dialect is very hard to understand. I think that's kind of the way orcs are. Orc is a dialect bordering on Creole. A kind of Creole language, but it's not actually, to me, this is just my interpretation of it. If you're saying they have a different language, but they just talk goofy for humies, that's fine. I'm not here to tell you what the canon is or is not. I just think it's funnier that orcs speak the same language as humans, but the humans think it's a different language because they use weird words that are hard to understand. I think orc intelligence is gauged by how much threat exists in the galaxy, as per fan speculation, as far as I know. That's interesting. There's a lot of people who really want the Krork to come back. that really they sort of want, or they want more of the Krork. They're really interested in what the Krork were like. And I sort of think the Krork are interesting as like these unknowable terrors, but orcs have so much personality because they're silly. And I prefer when orcs get intelligent that they remain silly. Like one of the best moments that gave a lot of personality to Gazgul, because I think Gazgul actually doesn't have a whole lot of personality. I think he's interesting mostly because of his relationship with Sebastian Yark, their rivalry. Like, I think that's pretty interesting. But I think Games Workshop seems to think that orcs need to be, in order to make orcs more threatening, they need to be less silly. So, like in the War of the Beast is like highly intelligent. He doesn't speak with the funny accent. He speaks in perfect High Gothic. They kind of lose the orcs. They're in the War of the Beast. The orcs are like so sophisticated and advanced. They sort of lose orky qualities that make them funny. But it's one of those things of like that if you can do it right, if you can manage the tone, orcs end up being simultaneously very threatening and also really funny. So I'm going to get to actually what I was going to use as my example. One of my favorite Gazgul moments was when he shows up in the Octarius War. So the Tyranids are winning the Octarius War. They're crushing what's his name, Blacktooth. Something Blacktooth is the Overfiend of Octarius, I think is the title, and they're losing. The Tyranids are at this point slowly going to eat the Octarius sector, and then Gazgul shows up as currently. I think what Gazgul is. I thought he was going to be in the Octarius War for a while, but he then up and left there too. He's like gathering as many orcs as he can for like a giant Waaagh thing, whatever final showdown shebang thing that they're doing. I think they're being a little sloppy with how they're handling Gazgul. But one of the funniest things was Gazgul lands on Octarius, because I think they're actually on the capital planet, and the orcs are kind of all holed up in their scrap fortresses, trying to hold out for as long as they can against the Tyranids. And then Gazgul's fleet and their rocks show up, and then start teleporting forces down to the ground. And Gazgul is just like, whoa, and everyone's like, all the orcs just go crazy and they start fighting back and they're just tearing through Tyranids, and Gazgul's like charging forward, and then the ground like collapses around him and he's swallowed up by a Moloch. A Moloch, I think is what they're called. Big underground Tyranid sandworm things. Digs up underground, like swallows Gazgul whole. The Moloch like roars at the orcs, and everyone's like, "Oh crap, Gazgul just got eaten." And then Gazgul tears his way out, and it's like, "Ah, I did it!" And all the orcs, "Wah!" But what happened is after the battle, Gazgul had a big, like a Moloch tooth had like punctured his armor and stabbed him like all the way through. So he was like pretty seriously injured, even for a big orc warlord. So they're trying to pull it out. Like they get like 20 boys, they grab onto the big spine, try to yank it out. They get a Death Dread to try to yank it out. It still won't come out. Mad Doc, I think it's Nazdrag, is the one who is like, all right, what we do is we use like this anti-gravity we're going to use grav technology to yank it out, and he accidentally like pulls out a bunch of Gazgul's insides and then quickly has to shove them back in before Gazgul realizes what happened. And then eventually they do something and pull it out. And the story goes that Gazgul like took it easy for about an hour. But then after a little, and the boys were a little worried. But then after a little bit, after he headbutted a squig off and killed it for getting in his way, the boys knew he was going to be okay. And it's like that's kind of what you want for an orc, which is what Ghazghkull is. He's very threatening. He's very smart. He's very clever, but he's still an orc, and that means that he's still very silly. And I think you can do both. And somebody made a comment that I think was, yeah, Taunt Rouge. Hey, this reminds me about a thing the director of Reanimator said. If you time horror with comedy perfectly simultaneously, you get a weird amplified reaction from the audience. It's true, because this was actually true in well, I would say horror. It wasn't horror. It was a little bit horror, but it's more like drama and comedy can be side by side. You can use comedy because if you it's hard to do, but if you manage the tone right, you can take comedy and use that to disarm people, and then do dramatic things. Joss Whedon did this a lot. If he'd have like funny stuff, and then he'd have like, he'd kill off characters. I think the best example of something that is really funny and uses it to disarm you and then do something more serious is Hot Fuzz. If you look at the relationship between the two cops and like all of the stuff that's going on, it's really funny, but it's also a little horrifying when you realize what's going on with the town. It's also like his friendship between Nicholas Angel and Danny is very sincere, and then you're like actually worried about them, but you still have really, really silly things and really silly one-liners, and I love Hot Fuzz. It is my favorite comedy. Black Sheep, I would say Black Sheep is a little bit more pure comedy. Like, yeah, I would say that's comedy horror. It's like you don't really ever take Black Sheep seriously. Black Sheep has the tone of like Bruce Campbell in the Evil Dead 2 and 3 movies. Thank you for saying it in French. Zork had a really hard time during their stream. Yep.
Tante Rugi. Rugi.
Hard to make the orc silly when they are the antagonist, maybe. They gotta be scary to make the hero more heroic. No, they don't. Well, I mean, they did it in Caiaphas Cain pretty well. Of orcs, because, well, Caiaphas Cain is also kind of funny because of what he does. But the first Caiaphas Cain novel, they have orcs as the antagonist. And you still have things of, like, they're trying to run away from the orcs, and they, like, shut a steel door behind them. And they're, like, trying to get away, and, like, if the orcs blast it open, they're done. But basically there's a big clunk. And then there's another big clunk. And they're not sure what's going on, but the orcs aren't blasting through, and they're like, whatever, let's just leave. And they sneak out of the building and are, like, sneaking away, and they come back around the front, and they see that all of the orcs have gathered around the door, and, like, they're all cheering for each other as each orc is trying to bash down the door with their head, and they made it into a competition. So, like, there's a way of making orcs both terrifying, because they are. They're funny, but, like, if you're actually standing in front of an 8-foot-tall hulking meganob that's going to rip you to shreds, it doesn't matter if he says something funny, he's going to kill you. He's gonna really kill you. It's kind of like, I think Freddy Krueger, if you're going to do the horror comedy thing, it's like, when Freddy Krueger is done right, it's scary. It's generally not done very very correctly, but it's like you don't lose the funny. I think if you do Freddy Krueger right, you can do both the funny and the scary. I don't think comedy makes something less scary. I think I think you just need to you just can't use comedy and then to make the enemy less threatening. If the enemy is still threatening, they can still be like scary and taken seriously, and the comedy like heightens that because you don't expect it. Yeah, orcs can be really funny until you're on the receiving end. That's exactly it. Orcs are funny to read about. Orcs are really funny to if you're like reading about what they say or you like hear what they say. But if you are the ones that have to fight orcs, they're underrated in how scary they are. Okay, we got some more people. We got 21 people. I'm just going to say this for new people coming in. This is my drunk stream. I am drinking right now. I feel a little tipsy. So if people, I have currently put in the thing, if you guys donate, I will drink. I will take a drink from my rum and coke, which currently is, can I get this in, is about halvesies. I've been nursing it for a little while for the stream. I've done one shot of tequila. If you want me to do another shot of tequila, you can donate $25. Because I would do lower, but like I actually might need to do things later on today. So if I made it too low, I think it'd get messed up, and this stream would like not be funny. It would just be me being a drunk embarrassment. Which, hey, that's a kind of entertainment, isn't it? Kane should have an orc version in Depurium, Killy Face Pain, Hero of Depurium. I've thought about it. I've thought about doing a Caiaphas Kane. The current thing I have for the equivalent of Caiaphas Kane, or at least commissars in Depurium, would be Grots, because Grots are in the Astramilla Grotum. They're also human auxilias who also have commissars who basically function as. I will admit one of my biggest regrets in doing Depurium is I have already said what I'm calling it, which is Humi Auxilias. I am so disappointed in myself that I didn't call them Humi Axillas. It'd be like, a weapon and axe.
The Axillas. The Humi Axillas.
Oh, no. Hey, that's fair. I got drunk and streamed gameplay before. Worst playthrough of Dark Souls I ever did. Make sure you drink plenty of water afterwards, mate. Way ahead of you. This is my... Boop. I got my water. I'm actually going to take a swig of water as I'm going. Oh, yeah. Kane as a grot. It's a good idea. I need to get an idea for it. I need to figure out what I want to do with it. The parallel to the Dark Angels be Dark Angels. No, right? Well, I decided that Dark Angels are Dark Flyboys. Because I have the Blood Flyboys and the Dark Flyboys. If you take a look at the Emprah's Primorcs, it'll go through all of the different legions. So I already came up with a name for the Dark Angels, and they're the Dark Flyboys. Yep, very happy to have you here, Matt. I'm happy to take the day off for this one. Thoughts on Necromunda, but with orcs instead? You mean Gorka Morka? Is it? I'm pretty sure Gorkamork is Gorkamorka just Necromunda, but with orcs. I'm pretty sure it's a similar thing. I also think that Kill Team kind of fits Necromunda, right? It's small. Your guys level up. Yes. Yes. I very much I like the whole idea of kind of combining role playing stuff and like large tabletop games, because I like having like you have the same guys survive. Like I like that as an idea. I don't know if you guys, this is an old game. This is like mid '90s game. I don't know if you guys have played Myth: The Fallen Lords, and then they did Myth 2 Soulblighter, and then they did Myth 3, and I don't know if which was in 3D, and I don't know if they kept making Myth games. But one of the really cool things was that as you did the campaign, and you were given units, you could have veteran units, which were guys who survived your previous. If you could get everyone to survive, your army would keep getting better because your guys were veterans, and you could like name them, and so you kind of had like a role playing thing. You kind of felt like you had people that you cared about a little bit. The Primeworks video is one of your best video works. Lowell, thank you. Yeah, I really liked the Primeworks. I'm pretty happy. Like, I think some people, when they have success with a video on YouTube, resent the success of the video a little bit. Like, it's like, I did this thing, but it wasn't that great, and I have other things on my YouTube that are pretty good. But I'm actually pretty happy with the ones that got popular. Like I really like the commissar trying to convince the Ogren to get into the transport. Like I think that's very funny. I really like it. Even though I'm using poor audio, I don't have a good mic at that point. It doesn't matter that much for that one. Like you can't tell that the audio quality's bad that much in that one. So I like that. The other one that's really big is Orcs Discussing Socrates. I go back and I listen to that one, and it's like, this is actually really funny. It's really well paced. I very much appreciate it. And then the Primeworks is the other one that's really big. And I just think the Primeworks it just goes on for so long, and it's so silly. It's so dumb. It's so funny. Like I go back and listen to it, and like I forget that because it's so long, I forget some of the jokes that I have in there. So it's one of the ones that I like the best because you can go back to it, listen to it again, and it's still funny. Transport video one is delightful. I really like it. I'm gonna say I think Og the Ogren as a series, which is one of my most popular series, along with Orcs Discuss Philosophy. Like, again, the things that I think have gotten really popular are things that I think are honestly some of my best work. Do I think some of the things that I do are better than the views they get? Well, yes. I think I think I should have 100,000 subscribers. I think all of my videos should have at least 20,000 views, and I think all of my stuff should be, hailed as amazing. But that's just, it is what it is. Eric Rayner, hey, I'm tipsy right now, but I'm gonna finish up my drink right here. And if you guys want me to get more drunk,
if you guys want the full show, you're gonna have to pay for it.
I'd say I'm tipsy right now. I'd say I'm having a good time. I think this is like, I honestly, I think tipsy is the most fun kind of drunk to be. Because basically the beginning of tipsy is you don't you don't care anymore. What is it? IDGAF. If I've got to censor it. I don't want to censor it. I want to say it, but I also want this to stay monetized and not. I think it's far enough in that I could probably curse. It doesn't matter, but whatever. I love getting tipsy because I stopped caring about stuff as much, and I'm just like loose and having fun. And then by the time I get to like the far end of tipsy, I'm being goofy, I'm having fun, I'm enjoying myself, and just being silly. Getting into drunk can be fun sometimes, but only when everyone's drunk. Being tipsy around people who are sober is fine. Like you're not making a spectacle of yourself, and you're not being obnoxious. You're just a little tipsy. You're a little silly. It's fine. And if you're tipsy around people that are drunk, it doesn't bother you that they're super drunk, and you also can like still watch it after them. So I enjoy being tipsy. Tipsy is great. Tipsy is great and also you can like do stuff. You can like take an hour and sober up and or however long. Don't do anything. If you're drunk, err on the side of don't fuck around with things. Don't. All right, I did end up cursing. Oh well. Don't screw around with drinking. Don't think that you can like drive. Don't. If you're going to drink, make sure somebody else is driving you or that you're at home. And if you're going to be an embarrassment, you're going to be an embarrassment in your own home, nice and safe and sound. Drunk is only fun in the right company. Yeah. I like to be enthusiastic and drunk, because if I'm just like drunk and it's in the wrong company or the wrong mood, I just get sleepy. I just get kind of lame at when I'm like super drunk. Fortunately, all of you guys are like super cool, awesome people who have sophisticated tastes, who are all charming and winning and clever, and of course this brings out my excellent qualities. This brings out the most positive kind of drunk that you guys can experience here. Dude, I'm Polish. Are you reject? Never lose control. I never lose control when I'm drunk. Never passed out. Never had a hangover. Last birthday drank 20 liters of sweet fruit wine. All right, somebody give Eric Rayner the crown. You can drink a lot. I used to be able to. I think my claim to drinking fame was I went out partying. I drank at least a 12-pack and was like stone sober by the end of the night. And I'm pretty sure I drank a lot. I had like 20 drinks worth of drink. I don't know if I've had a couple of instances where I had one incident where I blacked out and it was bad. I just drank too fast and wasn't and just kept drinking. It was just not a good idea. It was just bad on my part. That was bad. And I've had times where I fell asleep while I was drunk. Like I fell asleep somewhere. I don't know if I'd call it passed out. I was just like, I drank and then got sleepy and then went to sleep. Like there wasn't a point where it was like things kept happening and I didn't remember it. That happened once and it was terrible. Being a Slav, I'm not capable of dying from alcohol poisoning. Well, Eric, clearly, I feel like I've been challenged by Eric here. This is, I gotta like. All right, so that's one drink. Let's do her again. Let's get filled up. Eric's gonna not directly. Eric was respectful. He did not say Americans are big sissy pants who don't know how to hold their liquor. But see, I'm just proving that I'm continuing to drink. But he implied that that Americans were sissy pants who didn't know how to hold their liquor. So I clearly have to make a fool of myself live on stream in front of internet peoples in order to prove him wrong. So Eric, Eric, this is me making a fool out of myself because for the honor of my country. For the honor of my country. Eric, you may be Polish, but I am Irish and German. And English. And English is respectable. I think the reputation for English people is I don't know if English people drink. They have a big drinking culture. But are the English known for holding their liquor? All right, I'm gonna poll chat here. Can the English hold their liquor? I think the English sort of get their ability to hold liquor diminished because they border the Scots and the Irish are right there. All right, Severed Pighead, you're English. Do you guys do you think you hold your liquor? Do you think the English generally hold their liquor? I know the reputation of English is they go to other countries, get drunk, and embarrass themselves. That is like the ugly Brit. Not that I'm going to defend Americans that travel. We're a wealthy country, and a lot of people who are not sophisticated worldly people have enough money to go be embarrassments overseas. What do we got? I think the ability to hold liquor is based on experience. English people can't hold their tongue, let alone their alcohol. The North's got a drinking problem? No, because of the lightweight. Depends on which part of England. I mean, the ones that are the basis for the orcs. I think that's true of anybody. I think if you're dealing with See, here's the thing. Statistically speaking, the people who drink the most are wealthy people, at least in the United States. And I think this is statistically true worldwide. The people who drink the most are the people who can afford to. Poor people actually drink less than wealthy people, contrary to the stereotypes of poor people begging for money and then going and buying alcohol. Poor people can't afford to drink all the time. They just can't. What do we got? Eastern Europe, and basically, I'd say Germany eastwards has a pretty good reputation for drink. I don't think the French or the Italian. I don't think other parts of Europe have a reputation for not being able to hold their liquor, because the French and Italians, they drink wine, but drinking is sort of just a thing. But it's not like, it's not like a former Soviet bloc country. We're going to drink the pain away sort of thing. And if I get offensive, oh well. I'm oh well. I said what I said. If I insult your country of origin, I mean it in good fun. I think that's something that people really need to be able to do. Like I really enjoy giving shit to people when I've been drinking. Like I love getting drunk with some dude who's cool and then giving each other shit. I met this guy. Met this guy at a bar. He's a black guy, and we got to drinking. We bought each other drinks, had a great time, started talking about Star Wars, doing a bunch of different things. All right, Lorenzo, thank you very much for the $5. I'm going to read your thing in a second. Let me finish my story, and I will read Lorenzo's super chat. Thank you very much. Oh my goodness. But we started talking and hanging out and drinking, and we like. It was like, there's a lot of racial tensions in the United States, especially recently. But it was like we like hit it off, had a great time, and we like blew off a bunch of steam about race stuff and like gave each other shit. But it was more like it was more like out of good fun. And it was kind of like blowing off steam because we both knew that the tension was there, and we didn't want it to be this terrible thing. We ended up bonding. It was funny because I have long hair. I have like my hair goes down to like the middle of my back, and we both bonded over white girls touching our hair without permission. We got shit-faced and we're like, white girls will touch your hair. It's like if you're a guy that has long hair, and I'm a reasonably good-looking guy. I'm not like super great looking. I'm kind of scraggly right now. I need to shave. But girls will, like white girls. It's never been black girls. It's never been Hispanic or Asian girls. I've had girls who want to touch my hair or like look at it or like talk about it because it's naturally curly and I think it looks pretty good. There was a woman who was a hairdresser who was like, "Can I just look at your hair for a second? I want to take a look." But like white girls will just touch your hair without, and it's weird because I think of that as very intimate. Like that's a very intimate thing to do, and it's like not weird for somebody to ask me to like touch my hair or look at it because it's kind of flattering. It's like, oh yeah, I have like nice hair. And so we bonded over that because he had like a very impressive afro. Like not like mega duper comical, like huge afro. No, but it was like nice. It was like a really nice, well kept afro. And we like bonded over this and and we were like drunk, and it's like, you know what, you can touch my hair. And so like, we like bonded over it, and we're just giving each other shit about it, about stuff that like we didn't like, that people would just assume. It's like, yeah, for whatever reason, white girls just think they can touch people's hair. I don't know why that is. Yeah, well, Black Dynamite is about the level. All right, so Lorenzo, let's see what you got. Gave 2, so thanks for this 5. Thanks for 2. Out running errands, but as soon as I get home, I'm also going to take a shot for America. Do you know why? Because there's no knock-knock. Do you know why there's no knock-knock jokes in America? Because freedom rings. Yes. Yes, because freedom rings. I'm still mad that yeah, I'm not going to get political. I won't get political. I will get jokingly patriotic about America. I will give. All right, so Eric, the unfortunately, the standard American stereotype of Poland is not like I like my country stereotypes to be nuanced. Like I like when people have like detailed stuff about what another country's stereotypes are. Like the more you can tell me about it, the funnier it is to me. Again, I just think stereotypes are funny. I just think they're really funny. And I wish we lived in a world where it was just like a funny thing we shared of like, hey, you guys kind of do this thing. Hey, you guys kind of do that thing. And like it's chill and like fun. But it's just no, I I hate it because it's like I've done the thing where you like make a joke and then you realize that it's like you make a joke that you think is ironic or like silly and like obviously people shouldn't take it seriously, and then you realize you're in a room of like racist people. that's never a fun feeling. Unfortunately, like the Polish stereotypes in the United States are so lame. They're so lame because it's just one. There's one Polish stereotype in the United States, and it's that Polish people are dumb. That's it. That's it. It's like if you've ever heard like blonde jokes or you've heard like redneck jokes, it's like it's Polish. People will tell Polish jokes, and it's just not clever. It's not. It's lame. It's like you don't know anything about Poland. Um, and I'll be real. I don't know that much, but I know a little bit about Polish history, but not that much. So I need to like up my stereotype game here. I need to like get fresh, new Polish stereotypes. Oh yeah. Well, I think some of it is based on Polish immigrants to the United States, because a lot of Polish immigrants came to the United States and then went to like the industrial cities and were like the working class. I think people think that the Poles drink a lot, but I think that's basically literally all of Eastern Europe. It's not nice. It's not nice, and it's not funny. I think I suppose the European stereotype of Poland is that they're a crazy bunch. I think our stereotype of Polish people being stupid is because of immigrants. Not that like there aren't thriving Polish communities of people that are like very successful or doing well. Because I have family in places that there's big Polish communities, but I think it's just that I think that there are a lot of American stereotypes that come from people immigrating to the country and being poor when they get here, and then the negative stereotypes that kind of come along with just being new and poor, which is that you're uneducated, you don't know you don't necessarily speak the language. I think that's where a lot of it comes from. Because I've never met a I've never met a Polish person that like I met a couple who were like exchange students, and like they were solid people. They had heads on their shoulders. I think it's just because people are poor, and if you're poor and don't speak the language as well, that's the stereotype that comes along. So European stereotyping of Poland is that they're a crazy bunch. The European group that I think America has a couple of different countries where we think they're crazy. One is Ireland. Americans think the Irish are crazy, and I think that is way overstated. I think the Irish are like. So I went to Ireland. This was a while ago, so this might have changed. But I went to Ireland, and I thought Ireland was like. Being in Ireland was like. I don't know if you've ever heard the expression "being on island time." But that's like, everyone kind of takes things easy. Everyone like you don't have to show up on time. Nobody's in a rush to do anything. Like that is what I got from Ireland. But the reputation of Ireland in the United States is they're crazy. They're crazy and they're going to party and they're going to do all kinds of crazy stuff. And then it's like, I thought when I went to Ireland, I thought everyone was a little low key. I went for Slav stereotypes. I went on. I went on a I've seen a couple of Slav meme compilations, which are mostly the what is it called? I can't remember the term, but it was mostly Russian. It's the hard base memes what I've seen, which is pretty funny. Yeah, cheeky breaky. That's it. Yeah. What we got? Give me your countries of origin, and I'll tell you what our stereotypes are. Somebody's got Canada. I saw maple syrup. I'm missing things. Give me your countries, and I'll tell you what. If you're not from the United, most of you probably are not from the United States because we're in the middle of the workday. For most people, all right, Turkey. All right, so you're all right. Let's start with Turkey. Turkey's kind of like the stereotype of the Middle Eastern like salesman. Like they haggle. They want to. People from Turkey want to argue. I would say that's probably the biggest stereotype. Is like Turkey. Peru in the United States, the most people know from Peru is Peruvian panpipes, and they know you guys got the hats. Man, I hate to say it, but like the United States doesn't think that much about Peru. That's an awful thing to say. Canada, we have a lot of stereotypes about Canada. I think the positive things about Canada are that you guys are polite. My experience, I'll get to Canada. Let me go back to Peru because I feel like I did Peru dirty there. Like I've met some Peruvians. I think Peruvians have a weird like everyone in Latin America has like an intense pride about their country. I haven't met somebody who's not like intensely prideful about their country, and I'm trying to think of who I've met from Peru. Peruvians are proud, and there's something about the way they carry themselves. There's something about the way they carry themselves. I can't put it into better words than that, unfortunately. Canada, the positive things about Canada is you guys are chill, you guys are polite, you guys are hospitable, you guys are kind. The negative stereotypes of Canada is that y'all think y'all better than the United States when you do not have the responsibility of the United States. You guys live in the most secure position in the entire world. You are not bordered by anyone except the United States, and we do not want to invade you. You are so completely protected because the most powerful country in the world borders you. And nobody else does, and nobody else can get to you. And if anybody messes with you, the United States will have your back. And sometimes this is a thing because I actually have Canadian cousins. I have cousins that live in Canada. So like I feel like I can crap on Canada a little bit. Sometimes Canadians will open their mouths and talk about stuff that they've never had to worry about because the United States is the most powerful country in the world, making sure you guys have no problems. You guys have no international problems. No international threats because we border you. The United States has to deal with things. Not that we don't want to partner with Mexico, but we have to deal with a lot more international stuff, and Canada doesn't have to if they don't want to. That's my like. Canada, people are solid. Canadian people are super solid, but like y'all benefit a lot because you border the United States, and I get the sense that you guys do not appreciate that. There's a lot of smack talking I've heard from Canada, and I think they need to check themselves. All right. Manchester, UK. I don't think the United States has stereotypes about Manchester in particular. I know the UK, y'all have so many stereotypes about like y'all can go like street by street in a city and like have stereotypes about people. Manchester, nothing about Manchester in particular as far as the US goes, and I've never met anybody from Manchester. But the UK stereotypes range of you're either kind of like the overly posh, polite, proper British person, or you're like, so it's like you have the upper class British stereotype, which is like posh, proper, overly polite, overly, and then you have like middle class Brits who are like oppressively neurotic. Like they're not like upper class, they're not lower class, and they like don't know where they stand. So they used to be an empire, so they get weird. I don't know, like John Oliver. Like John Oliver is like the poster boy of like nervous middle class British person. Granted, he lives in the United States, and I think he's now a citizen, so he might not count. Lower class Brits are they're orcs are kind of like the exaggerated stereotype, but I feel bad for the lower class in the UK because they get crapped on so much and like nobody really cares. It's like being black in the United States, except nobody cares. I'd say like being a poor white person, being like in the South or being like in Appalachia, being like a poor white person is like people can make fun of you and it's fine. I'm not saying that the plight of black people isn't like. I would say it's probably worse at this particular stage in history. I'm getting political, but I don't. Whatever. Who cares? But I do feel bad for poor whites because you can just make fun of them and nobody cares. It's like you're allowed to just make fun of them. Denmark is like prostitutes and weed. That's like is like socialism. Weed and prostitutes. That's like what Americans know about Denmark. What I think about Denmark is my impression of Denmark is they're like really chill. What do we got? Washington State, stereotype that. Washington is like Washington State. Washington's overshadowed by both Oregon and California, because California is like you're all West Coast, and Washington is like the third-rate West Coast state. Because I just don't think about Washington State, because Oregon has Portland and all of the stuff that like California is like a weird mess of a whole bunch of things. Oregon is like the weird liberal utopia, and then Washington is like Oregon light. I hate to bring that on you, Nightmare, but like that's like my stereotype. If I'm being harsh. Yep, Turkey paradoxically a race of bald and hairy people. Sorry, that was very funny. What we got? Peru, llama. Yep, llamas and alpacas. No weed in Denmark? Am I crazy? I thought it was both Netherlands and Denmark, but maybe I'm just an idiot. I'm probably an idiot. What about Germans? Germans are like the modern stereotype of Germans is they're like efficient and polite. They don't like hugs and they don't like to talk to strangers. I know the Netherlands was weed and prostitutes, and I thought Denmark was too. Or they just see like Denmark to me seems like the cross between. They're like a weird cross between Nordic Europe and mainland Europe because they're like weirdly in between. Like that's kind of my stereotype of Netherlands. And I thought they also legalized prostitution and weed. I thought they had. Like, this isn't a me mixing up Netherlands and Denmark. I thought they had. And if I'm wrong, I guess I had like a weird dream. Anyways, I'm drunk. I'm not drunk. I am tipsy. Y'all haven't been making me drink all that much, and I'm talking a lot, so I'm not drinking. I have my excuse. The Americans think that Europe is a country. Europe is, there are a bunch of different countries, and you all have unique. As far as why Americans treat all Europeans the same, and I think we treat the United Kingdom different. But when Americans think of Europe, when it comes to mainland Europe, it's like, they're all kind of the same. You just divide Western Europe from Eastern Europe, and then it's like, yeah, how do you, the divide between Western Europe and Eastern Europe is like, yeah, the differences between the former Soviet bloc countries and the ones that aren't, and the mark that's made. But as far as politically speaking, you all have plenty of arguments among yourselves, but from the United States point of view, there's not that much of a difference, because from an American perspective, whenever something happens, like militarily, or a big thing happens globally, what the Europeans do is they kind of sit on the fence, wait for America to do something. If it turns out well, they'll jump on the bandwagon and kind of be like, yeah, it's good job, America. Or if it's going bad, then they'll badmouth America for votes. So, like, I think the source of Americans thinking of Europe as one country stems from European countries all kind of interact with the United States the same way. And I could say the same about, like, Middle East countries. Kind of interact with America the same way. They have a similar culture, and they kind of all do similar things. Middle East, the countries want to court the United States' favor. Man, boy, I'm not talking about the Imperium anymore, about the Depurium anymore. I kind of went off on crazy politics stuff. But, like, this is all part of, like, I want to be able to talk about this stuff and be chill about it. It's something I've always wanted to do, is be able to talk about, like, different countries. And weed in Copenhagen is a thing. There's a town called Christiana. And okay, like, I thought there was something. I thought that was something. The Balkans exist. No, I think about the Balkans. You guys are that thing that was between, the rest of Europe and the Ottoman Empire. Balkans are important. The Balkans are a bunch of crazy people who had to face the relentless armies of the Ottomans, and then were involved in the Balkans are war after war after war after war. I think my stereotype of the Balkans is they're crazy, and they hate each other, and I don't know why. No. The Balkans. I mean, so I know a little bit about the Balkans. But not like that much. Not that much. As far as I know, like, I know a little bit about it, but mostly they don't like each other. That's it. They don't like each other. I think it was one of my favorite jokes from the book, but there was like a Jon Stewart Daily Show kind of book, and they had like a little map which said, here's the Balkans, and it had like Yugoslavia, and like it was like old. It's like here's the Balkans at this point, and like you had a number of countries, and it's like here's the Balkans like now, and then it's like Yugoslavia is broken up, a bunch of things have broken up. Here's Yugoslavia present day, more countries have broken up. Here's the Balkans projected 2050, and it's just like this tiny grid, and it's like all of the Balkans has everyone in the Balkans has become the independent country of me. Like that's the stereotype of every country in the Balkans. Is they hate each other, and they're honestly not that different. What do we got? Anyone? Who else we got? Why is there so much wrong thinking about European country? I don't know. I do not know. Did have serious conversations with people who kept forgetting Africa is a continent, not a country. Africa is interesting. It's very interesting. I've been learning more about African history from an ancient and medieval perspective. I think the Zulu Empire is super interesting. The Mali Empire is super interesting. The Ghanan Empire, it's Ghanan, the Mali, Songhai is super interesting. I really think Assyria / Ethiopia is super interesting. Also, the Kushites and the Nubians, super interesting. I don't really have anywhere to go with that. But Africa's very different. I think you can kind of break Africa up to North Africa. North Africa is basically part of the Mediterranean. Everybody who's bordering the Mediterranean, they all sort of have related cultures. From Spain to Lebanon, there's similar things going on. Mostly because the people traded a lot with each other and invaded each other and enslaved each other, and everyone who's part of the Mediterranean. That's why everyone in the Mediterranean kind of looks the same. I said it. I'm not going to take it back. I said it. Hope I'm not doing anything that isn't heresy. I'm probably doing heresy at this point. I'm probably making heresy at this point. Didn't tell me the stereotypical differences between the different Scandinavian countries. Okay, so Scandinavian countries are, what do we want to do? We want to do Denmark, Sweden, Norway, Iceland, I guess we can talk about, and Finland is weird. It's because it's not Scandinavian. It's Slavic, but I think it's important to mention because it's sort of like Slavic Scandinavian. The Finnish reputation is the Finns are all crazy. Russians are crazy. Finns are like more crazy than the Russians. The stereotype is Russians are crazy. Russians are crazy and depressed. Finns are had to out crazy the Russians in order to still be Finland. So they're like mega crazy. No, Finland is not Scandinavian. It's Slavic. I know. Don't you sass me. I know Finland isn't Scandinavian, but it borders Scandinavia. It's right near you guys. And I think it's important to talk about Finland in relation to Scandinavia. Iceland is weird because nobody lives in Iceland. There are like 300,000 people that live in Iceland. I think Americans don't really think about Iceland. I would say Iceland they're really small time, but they have an outsized impact on world culture because of music and because of TV stuff. Like nobody lives there. Nobody lives in Iceland. It's so small. Um, I would say, like, Bjork is probably like the biggest stereotype. I'd say people think Icelanders are weird, are really really weird. Um, Norway, I would say, is the biggest thing from the United States is black metal. Like, black metal came from Norway. Um, I don't know. Sweden is like chunky Norway. Sweden is like more populated, chunky Norway. Um, I don't know if there's a strong difference in the American mindset between Sweden and Norway. I think Sweden. I think Sweden has like the more pride. Not that Norwegians aren't prideful, but like, or have pride in their own country, but like Sweden has a little bit more impact in world history because you have a number of times where Sweden has been a little bit more of a power player in European history. Denmark, Denmark's I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the stereotypes of Denmark are. Like, I sort of talked about them. Let's see. What we got? What we got? Iceland is pretty inbred. Makes sense. There's not very many people there. Finland is not Slavic? It isn't? Am I crazy? I thought Finland was. Is it just its own thing? Is Finland just its own thing? I thought it was Slavic. I'm looking it up. Okay, they're not. They're not really. Okay, I guess Finland is not really Slavic or Scandinavian. I thought the Finnish language was Slavic. I guess I'm wrong. I guess I'm completely wrong. See, this is a time for learning. This is a time for growth. This is a time for understanding. This is a time for nobody equals 300,000 people. Look, more people live. If I drove a mile in any direction from where I am now, there'd be way more than 300,000 people, and that's an entire country. We're learning about stuff. I did sort of know that Finland didn't really fit anywhere. They were kind of their own weird thing. But I guess they're not really Slavic and they're not Scandinavian. I thought, my goodness, I'm so wrong. I'm so wrong, and I've been humbled. I've been humbled. We're learning about things. Drunk stream culture lessons. That's fine. That's fine. What else we got? So I'm talking about. I've thoroughly embarrassed myself about Scandinavia. I get stuff about Denmark wrong. I've gotten stuff, and of course Finland isn't really Scandinavian, and it's so I'm just embarrassing myself. This is terrible. Finland isn't. I thought it was. I guess it. Okay. A lot of ties between Sweden and Finns. You have a lot of Finns living in Sweden. Okay. I guess I'll settle on this way. The Finns are not utterly unrelated to either Scandinavia or Russia because they border. They've been their political stuff is highly involved in both of them. Somebody who's like super smart. I know that the Sami people were the ones who were kind of the indigenous Scandinavians, and then are they the people that sort of are the Finns, or am I like pulling stuff out of my backside? Sammy's a different thing. They live up north. Okay. I knew they were farther north. I didn't know if they were like more in Finland. Look, the answer is I need to just have more drink. That's Clearly what I need to do. Bury my shame in more alcohol. Swedes make furniture and meatballs. Yeah, that's... You got the IKEA stuff going on. Like, yeah, Swedish meatballs and IKEA. That's like... Here's the thing about America. Everyone thinks about us because we're the most powerful country in the world. Like, you kind of have to. It's sort of like you have to think about China because China's powerful. When it comes to other countries, we don't, like, we do think about other countries, but like if we haven't been to them, if we like haven't personally been to them, like I don't know what's happening in Sweden. I don't know what's happening in Luxembourg. I don't know what's happening in, Mali right now. It's not relevant to what we have to do day to day, because if Mali goes to war tomorrow, it's not really going to have much of an impact on U.S. interests unless like they're messing with an ally of ours or a trade partner, and even then, that's like still fairly removed. Like it's, I do get a little bit butthurt about people making fun of Americans because we don't know what's going on in the world, and it's like, well, number one, there's a lot of Americans. There are a lot of Americans, and if you ask a random one of us what's going on in the world, most of it we have to worry about, because we're not most of what we have to worry about is just what's around us, and what's around us is the United States. We don't have to interact, like American citizens aren't really dealing with that many other nationalities on a daily basis. It's like we have to deal with, I would say most Americans have to like, and will encounter Hispanic immigrants, but some don't. If you live in the middle of nowhere where there's not a whole lot of work, you're not dealing with like Mexican immigrants or Guatemalan immigrants or people coming from Latin America. If you're not in Florida and you're not dealing with Cuban immigrants, we don't have to deal with it. You don't have to think about it. You have to deal. I think people have to deal with like what the problems are, where they are, and I think if you're in Europe, there are a lot of other countries around you who are constantly interacting with your population, and you guys are a lot closer to a lot of other issues. Because the United States is kind of off on its own, we border literally just Canada and Mexico. We don't have to think about other countries a whole lot unless there's some issue with national security that's an issue. Americans are stereotyped as not traveling much. Most Americans don't. No, they don't. Most Americans don't travel all that much. Some do, but not a lot. Americans, Russians, Chinese all live in big countries and tend to be nationally chauvinistic, tend to not travel internationally, are not multilingual, big country syndrome. I believe it. Like, I'm not fluent in French. French is the language that I'm closest to in fluency, to the point that if you kidnap me and drop me off in France, it would be a freaking mess, but I think I'd be able to survive and eventually, like, learn French well enough to survive. But USA have two borders with wall on one. I wish to go on. I have said so many times in my thing that I don't want to get political, but I think the wall is the stupidest thing ever. That it's such a symbolic thing. Immigration to this country is very complicated, and the wall is like a monument to simplistic answers to complex problems that just ignore what the heck the problem is. All right, I'm empty. Boopity boop boop. I'm empty. I'm filling up again. I'm gonna go coconut rum this time. You know you own Alaska only because the Russian Tsar had a bad hand while playing cards with the French Emperor. Look, the United States will take whatever land people are willing to just like let us have. What was the the big thing about Alaska was it was a big frozen wasteland, and I don't think Russia was in a position to be able to manage it. And I can't remember who negotiated. It was like whoever negotiated the sale of Alaska to the United States. It was originally called I can't remember the guy's name, but it was like such and such as folly, because you just bought a big empty barren wilderness and nobody lives there. So originally, Alaska was a big waste of money, or perceived to be that way. So people see what I poured myself a double shot of rum. You missed talking about orcs? I can get back to talking about 40K. Look, I'm drinking, and a lot of people from different countries watch my stuff, especially from a lot of Europeans, a lot of people from Latin America, and I don't know. I just want to talk about it a little bit. Should I back off? Should I back off politics? Down to 15 people watching now. Did I offend everyone with politics? I apologize. I know this is supposed to be like a 40K stream. But I was having fun, and this is... See, when I drink, I end up wanting to do things that I know are a bad idea from the perspective of a YouTuber. It's like, when I drink, I want to talk about life, the universe, and everything. I want to talk about politics. I want to talk about everything. And the big thing is, I want to be able to talk about it and not have people freak out. Because you know what? I'm like, as much as I'm a drunk idiot right now, I want to learn things. I want to talk to you guys about stuff. Ulysses Grant times, was it? It was somebody's folly. It was somebody's folly, because it wasn't Ulysses S. Grant. Might have been the one to purchase it. I'm getting. Oh geez, be yourself. Being a YouTuber is lame. Being a YouTuber is lame. Well, the big thing is, I do not want a freaking firestorm over anything. And I don't think I'm a big enough YouTuber for it to be like a freaking issue. But I don't want to become a battleground for dumb people arguing about politics. Now, being a YouTuber is also coming to an end, like in a few years. Well, that works out for me, because I'm going to finish up school and get a job. I mean, not that I don't have a job right now, but YouTube is helping me work at a very leisurely pace. Seward's Folly. That's it. Craig Galzetti. My goodness, I Galzetti? No. I'm not going to be a working stiff. I'm going to be a counselor. I'm going to help people. That's what I want. That's like what I want to do. I'm not going to like sit in an office and do unfulfilling work that doesn't do anything. I'll do that sometimes, because doing aggravating work is like part of the human condition. You can't. There's no way to make money where you can always do something that you love doing. Even doing YouTube, which is super fun. I have to constantly produce. I have to like beat up my brain to be creative all the time. Wait, I'm still in school? Yep. I'm old, and I went back to school to, excuse me, to get my degree in clinical psychology, to become a licensed counselor, and I want to work in addictions counseling. That's my thing I want to do. Are you telling us that Smart Boy Thinky Pants will help people with their mental health? Look, if there's anything the one thing I want people to take away from my stuff is I want them to look at my stuff and feel like a little bit entertained, or like feel that they learned something, or feel enriched, or like something. I want people to take something away from my content. You need to win the lottery to be able to always do what you want to do. I kind of can do always what I want to do. Because my spouse is my husband is the moneymaker right now. And if I didn't work another day in my life, I would it would suck, because it's better on our situation if I can carry my own weight, which I currently am, thanks to YouTube and thanks to donations and thanks to my occasional work at the restaurant. I can currently not be a drain on the relationship, which I can thank all of you for, because the channel has been lucrative enough to be able to support me. Lol, Mike GF wants to help addicts too. Yep, it's super important. So I'm going to talk a little bit about addiction counseling, because basically what I did was I spent some time working at an addiction, a rehab center. The title was, I was working as a resident coordinator, which basically meant that I did a bunch of different things. I did some clerical work. I did check-ins, and I did discharges, intakes. That was what it was called. Intakes and discharges. We did room checks. I occasionally did urine tests. We would check rooms to make sure that clients were attending like the classes they were supposed to. We'd get breakfast set up. We did a bunch. We basically were like helpers that made the inpatient rehab center function. We were not the counselors. We were not the people that ran group stuff. We made everything else work, and we were often the point person for like any sort of acute issue that a client was facing. So if they were having a panic attack, or they were like in a crisis where they needed to talk to a counselor, we were the first people that they talked to. And in doing that, I learned a lot about addiction. And the thing that appeals to me about becoming a counselor for addiction is it is a situation where the problems that people are dealing with are real. So one of the things that I don't want to have to do as a counselor is deal with people who have their heads crammed up their own backside. It's like, you don't really have problems. You're overthinking things. You need to do some really basic stuff. Like, you need to talk to your wife or your husband. You need to do some basic people stuff that everyone has to deal with. And I don't know if I want to deal with mundane problems. It's like, I'd rather deal with people who are dealing with really serious problems. Their lives are really messed up, and they need someone to be able to listen to them. What kind of addiction are we talking about? Drugs and alcohol. Addiction counseling is generally alcohol, and the people that I mostly dealt with, it was alcohol. There's a pretty distinct break between alcoholics and people who were abusing narcotics. We mostly dealt with because, I mean, we're having, I don't know if this is the case around the world, but in the United States, we have an opioid epidemic, so that's heroin, that's various and sundry opiates, that's, what's the big, that is related to fentanyl, because fentanyl is usually laced in there. Oxycontin. What's the other? There's another one that I'm trying to think of. Basically, all of the pain medication that are all opioids, because they were overprescribed by doctors. It created the opioid epidemic of a lot of people who are addicted to painkillers, who then generally what happens is sometimes people just are super messed up and they, are really messed up. They're doing drugs, they're doing cocaine, PCP, whatever, and then they end up in heroin. But a lot of people are, they go into, they end up getting injured. This guy's a roofer. He hurts his back, super seriously hurts his back, has to go in for surgery, gets prescribed opioids for pain. He ends up addicted to painkillers and has to keep. And then, because he's addicted to opioid painkillers, turns to heroin because heroin gives the same fix and it's cheaper. So, Tante Luge, this is really great and interesting. Glad to hear you're doing this as well. But I'm getting a bit tired. My attention's drifting off the thanks and stream. Keep up the good work. Yeah, no pressure to stay or go. I'm enjoying talking about random stuff. It's kind of nice to just talk. Let's see if we got any questions. I've been like blabbering on. I know some people are talking about what's it called? What is it? Command and Conquer? Because it's talking about allies and stuff. I don't remember. Will Thinky Pants become a nerd now that he has Thousand Spores? You don't think Thinky Pants was already a nerd? Yeah. Ibian 666. Thinky Pants was always a nerd. I mean, he read stuff, right? Yeah, Thinky Pants is always a nerd. Know anything about the history of drugs? Like how long ago did it become a widespread problem? It's always been a widespread problem. You can read like ancient texts about. I mean, people didn't think of it as addiction, but there were definitely people who would get drunk. There's definitely different places where substances were used and people would abuse those things. There's definitely, you can look in the Bible for stuff about being a drunkard. You can look at ancient codes and things about being a drunkard. The thing that's different today is we're now technologically able to refine stuff. So like back in the day, tribal people would chew cola leaves for energy and to deal with high elevations. But if you refine cola leaves, you can get cocaine, which is going to give you a whole lot of the stuff cocaine does. You can take poppies, and people would use the milk of poppies to like ease pain and stuff. But now the big difference between now and like ancient times is people can refine stuff and get the pure substance that people want and just put a crap ton in your system, which can just kill you. Is your face paralyzed yet? Mine is. No. Come on, Polsky. I'm drinking. What have I had? I've had 2 drinks and a shot of tequila, and I think I've double shotted most of my drinks. But I've not touched, and it's been 2 hours. Hey, let's do a count. Who's all drinking with me? Give me some me's out there. Who's all drinking with me? Your wine is stronger. I got 94 proof for the Kraken, and I got a lot less than that for the coconut rum. That's like half that. The coconut rum, geez, the coconut rum's like 42 proof. What we got? What we got here? Holy cow! 1/4 of the bottle drunk. Oh, for wine? Eric, not to encourage you to drink. You drink at your own pace. But I typically drink a half bottle. Maybe your wine's super strong, but I generally will split a wine bottle with my husband pretty frequently, and like be fine. Got someone puffing with me. Got someone drinking tea. Kinglets, you drink your tea. Roadjaws had a beer. Sounds good. Eric Rayner, you're the person I'm kind of in competition with right now. Take care of yourself, though. We're having fun. We're not. I do not want to. A friend of mine once said, "The purpose of drinking games is to have fun. If you're not having fun, there's no pressure to participate in the drinking game. If you need to start drinking water and take care of yourself, do that. Don't." I'm knocking stuff over. Don't push yourself. We're all here to have fun. So if you guys are drinking and making a mess of yourselves, don't feel obligated. Switch over to water. Take it easy. We're all here having fun. What the fuck are drinking games? You never played drinking games? All right, chat. Rob Har would like information on drinking games. I think the TLDR version of drinking games are an excuse to get excited and drink. What are drinking games? Just drink. No. Drinking games are fun. Drinking games are fun. All right, so I'm going to explain Flip Cup. If you've ever seen the red plastic cups, they're like, apparently people have American parties and have these red we call them solo cups. And you use them for beer or mixing drinks or whatever. If it's a drinking party and you don't want to have a whole bunch of glasses you need to wash, use the red plastic solo cups that you can throw away at the end. Anyway, so Flip Cup works and the fact of you have a bunch of these red cups sitting on the edge of a table, usually like 5 or so. And they're like sitting off the edge of the table, and basically what you do is you flip them, so you basically tap them from the other side, so that you come up underneath and you flip them, and if they land so that they're top down, so that they're flipped over, then you can go on to the next one, and you flip every single one of the cups, and then whoever loses has to drink. It's super fun. And I had one point where we had a team of 5 versus 5 where each person had to flip cup. And I had a bunch of people on my team who were all part of my family. Everyone was part of my family. And we went and it was funny because I'm not very good at flip cup, but it was because of like family and like that power kind of coursing through everyone. We went straight down and went plunk, 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 flipped everything over, hit it dead on, crushed the other side, and they were the ones who had to drink. And it's still something that was a super fun time. Drinking games are like something to do when the plan is all ready to get drunk and have fun. It's like, that's it. I said the F word, bots hear everything. I said the F word a lot earlier. The bots only listen for 3 minutes. Everyone knows that. Whatever. If they're gonna censor this, that's fine. I don't get that many views on the streams anyway. I've kind of gone way off target, but you know, I'm having fun. Like this is like hanging out with a bunch of friends, and all I have, and I get to talk for as long as I want. How we doing? Let me see if I can get about halfway at this point. Halfway through my next one. I got 3 empty Cokes. So I've had 3 rum and Cokes, and I had my shot of tequila. Reminder to everyone that you can drop $25 or more and make me drink another shot of tequila. I think at this point I'm getting at the end of tipsy and I'm getting into drunk. But I'm having fun. I'm enjoying myself. Even the cat vids will have to wait. I'm here over every other part of YouTube. Worth it. Yeah, I'm having fun. It's kind of an interesting thing because I think some people have talked about the parasocial relationships on YouTube of like you do have a relationship with the people that see your stuff, but it is different from my very close friends who might come over to visit me. It's like I kind of know you guys, kind of in the same way that you kind of know me. That we see each other. That I've seen Ibian666. I've seen King Lich. I've seen Eric Rayner. I don't remember Crazy J. Crazy J, you're gonna have to stick around. Uh, Le J Yasuo, and I bet that's probably wise. La Ye Yasuo. I don't know. You have to tell me how to pronounce that. But I've seen you around. Who else? Rojaws, I've definitely seen you around. Have I seen everyone around? Who else? Raw Bahar. I don't remember. I'm gonna admit I don't remember. Aaron Lee I've seen. Severed Pighead I've seen before. Uh-oh. Well, it's either this or crypto. To the moon. Lorenzo. Putin. All right. It is empty. I'm not going to be able to show you that it's full because I'll dump it on the frickin' camera. But trust that my cool guy dragon shot glass is going to be filled to the brim with tequila. I'm going to fuck myself up. I cursed. It's fine. If small children are listening to this and they've stayed listening for 2 hours and 7 minutes for the purposes of me swearing in front of you guys, well, honestly, let's take a drink to those dedicated children who have watched the stream all the way to this point to hear me curse. Because at this point, if it's a child with their attention span, they deserve it. They deserve it. All right. Let's get a different language toast. All right. Prost. All right. It's empty. I drank tequila again. Y'all messing me up. Y'all messing me up. Yeah, you are now definitely drunk. Yeah, probably. Down to 12 viewers. You lost that one child. I chased them off. All right. I don't deal with children. All right, Eric, you got to tell me Zidari. How do you? Oh shit, I don't know how to say that. Zidrawi. I'm not gonna be able. Even if you told me how to say it, I don't. God, dang it, I don't know how to say Polish stuff. No, I knew I was not even close. There's some funky way of saying it, and I'm not gonna learn it while intoxicated. All right, I might go back and Google it and make it talk. I might do that today. It's also probably not. La Ye, La J, La Hay is funny though. Haha. Skull. It's kind of cool. Like I like having fans that are all across the world. It's neat to see a lot of like. That's kind of the appeal of what I see in when I write stuff about Depurium. of there are a lot of conflicts in Deperium between orcs and humans and the Grots and various and sundry other groups. But like, I think it's really interesting when people connect over stuff because we're all people. As much as I might embarrass myself over my lack of knowledge about the Netherlands and my lack of knowledge about Finland, and my lack of knowledge about plenty of different countries, we're all people. And it's really cool for me to write stories that a lot of different people enjoy from a lot of different cultures. And that kind of tells me that, we're all human beings and we all have common experiences, and like, if we can all tap into that humanity and understand each other and understand like the basic stuff of what it means to be human, that means a lot. That it means we can all. It tells me we can all get along. That's my uplifting random thing of the day. Still good segue. Still tipsy. I don't know. I think I'm approaching drunk at this point. I don't think I'm slurring yet. Chad, am I slurring yet? If you say I'm slurring and I don't think I'm slurring, then I might need to wrap this up pretty soon. Because I don't want to get super messed up. I want to be okay later on in the evening. A little slurring. See, the other thing is I just have a lisp. My S's tend to be slurred, and it gets harder when I've been drinking. S, because you're supposed to keep your tongue behind your teeth when you say S sounds, but my natural inclination is to say S's like this, to have my tongue stick out and hiss like a snake and lisp a little bit. And I've been trying to stop that. It bothered me so much when I first started recording stuff that I've been literally trying as hard as I can to say my S sounds in a way that doesn't cause me to lisp. And it's not gone, but it's better. It's a lot better. Zdrawi. Zdrawi. Zdrave. 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 Excuse me. Zdravie. 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 I know this is like the worst thing to tell a Polish person, but it's, oh my God, I hate to say this. So this is, when I've heard Polish spoken, I've heard it a couple times. Polish sounds more Russian than Russian. Zdravie. That like the stereotypical sounds that Americans think Russian sounds like, Poland like makes, it's like 150% more Russian sounding than what Americans think Russian sounds like. If y'all can take that BS, if y'all can, is all good. All right, I said it. I said it. I said it. And Eric, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to forget how to say it by tomorrow. Oh, come on. We only use sounds like the radio use when it's searching for a wavelength. Ah, interesting. Interesting. No, I hate telling Polish people that like they sound like Russians because I've met cool individual Russians, but as far as Russia exists as a political entity, Russia is awful. And y'all can say the U.S. is awful as a political entity if you want, but Russia and China too, as far as countries that are not Russia and China are concerned, they're bad news. You might want to slow down. I'm fine. Whatever. It's fine. If I'm an embarrassing drunk, people, I'm not big enough for people to get mad about, and nobody listens to my streams. If I get big and somebody digs into my streams and comes up with like weird little clips of stuff I said when I was drunk and talking about politics and shooting the shit with my subscribers who are from the different countries I'm talking about, I'm going to risk YouTube algorithm being mad at me, but fuck them. Like, we're having fun. We're talking. We're chilling out. We're drunk. I don't care. I do not rely on YouTube for my well-being. And I'm anonymous. I guess if somebody really, 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 really wanted to, they could expose me, but I'm not important. I'm not like a political figure. I'm not a major YouTube influencer. People can't cancel me. People can't get mad at me. I don't care. They're not going to ban me. I'm too small. Nobody cares. And if I do get banned, I'm fine. I'm fine. Don't worry, I'm your designated driver. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. Hoo boy, we're 2 hours and 17 minutes in, and I think 95% of this has not been talking about Warhammer, like, at all. That's okay. I'm hanging out with you guys. That's what I'm doing now. We're hanging out. We're having a good time. Here's what I'm... Nope. Just about done with my third rum and coke. Had 2 shots of tequila. Pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. And you maniacs can still donate $25 or more and make me drink more tequila. I gotta say, they do not sponsor me, but I was super pleasantly surprised. What is it? Camarena? Boop. Can I see it? I was super pleasantly surprised. It was super tasty. It's their Camarena Silver. I don't know if they have like regular and they have gold or what is this? But I drank that and it was like, oh, that's like super pleasant to just drink on its own. No, just in case, make a second No Man channel. Best drunk decision. I sort of have a second No Man channel, but I've messed it up because I created a channel for commissions, and then it's just I don't have time for commissions. That's a problem. It's like I don't advertise it. It exists, and if somebody sends me, "Hey, I'm going to pay you to have a commission, read this thing," I'll put it up on my commission channel. But I don't have time to advertise my commissions, and I don't have time to always do stuff that people want me to read. It's just was that the true name of your No Man Commissions. I think it's just called No Man Commissions. I'm gonna look it up and tell you guys for sure. It's just called No Man Commissions because Niels Ebsen was the one who gave me. He was the one who, because he sent me. Let me try and look it up. Oh, excuse me. Goodness gracious, I sound awful. Yeah, No Man Commissions is the name of it. I have a picture of my dogs. If you've wanted to see what my dogs do, they're on there. And yeah, it's just dogs wrestling. And then I also have What the Cat Told by Niels Ebsen, who's been a very awesome, very cool subscriber who sent me some stuff. I really like his story. It's very it's definitely H.P. Lovecraft inspired. Some people have been like, "Hey, this is derivative of H.P. Lovecraft." It's like, well, that's the point. Will I ever do a Tau story? I want to. I super want to. I want to do a Tau story. I need an idea. I need a cool idea for the Tau because, and part of it is I need to have like the vibes running. And part of what I think would help me with the Tau is I need to do like a dive into Tau lore and find cool stuff that I like about the Tau. I just found that nearly chocolate-flavored crispy starch corn meat cubes are an excellent cure for hangovers. Don't just take my word for it. Take it from... Oh my goodness. Nomadicus. Bananicus. Fee-fi-fo-maticus word for it. Lorenzo, are you drunk? Because I am drunk, and I know it's Nomanicus Germanicus. Oh shit. Nomanicus Germanicus Fee-fi-fo-fanicus Me-my-momanicus Primus. No, but shoot. Nomanicus Germanicus Banana Fanophofanicus Me-my-momanicus Primus. That's what it is. I'm a dummy. All right. Y'all caught me. Y'all caught me. I am a little drunk. Little drunk. And we're up to 15 people. 15 people putting up with my bullcrap. Nomanicus sword shaped like a katana? Probably. Is Nomanicus the weebiest weeb that ever weebed? Probably. I'm gonna do a number one. That's the secret of... Don't... Dang it, Eric. Don't remind me that I also have to pee. Hey, chat. Ding, I'm empty. 3 rum and cokes, all of which have had more than 1 ounce of liquor, and 2 shots of tequila. Chat, I beseech you, can I take like 30 seconds to go evacuate my... I need to go pee. Let me freaking go pee. I'm gonna go pee. Everyone who's been drinking who needs to go pee right now. I'll be back super shortly. I'm gonna run. I'm gonna run like an idiot. I'm gonna run like an idiot and come back shortly. All right. Did I lose anyone? 12. 13. All right. Cool. What is... All right. There's some shenanigans going on. There's some shenanigans going on. I have him in my grasp. He's barely walking. No. I'm okay. I'm good. I am top end of tipsy. I can still function. I wouldn't drive right now. Right now, I'm too fucked up to drive. No, I'm not going to do that. Everyone troll him, right? No man body pillow. Eric, for shame, Eric. No man body pillow. Oh my goodness, Eric. I feel like I'd be offended in the voice of Adrian Pius. Eric Rayner trolling everyone into posting no man body pillow. And then the truth is here that when Eric Rayner came into this chat, this was what his goal was from the beginning. No. He might say that his whole purpose was to come in here and drink alongside us. So now he can say that the reason that he encouraged everyone in chat to say no man body pillow is because he was drunk. Just cast it all away. Just ignore it. It was just all in good fun. All in good fun. The no man body pillow. And obviously, the secret, of course, is he is an imperial truther. Someone who believes that the entire Imperium should be dismantled so that he can cry in a corner and just do whatever it is that he does. Whatever it is he does. I love doing it, the Adrian Pius voice. It's so much fun. Adrian Pius is one of the funniest voices, not gonna lie, haha. It's Rush Limbaugh. It's if you guys have ever heard Rush Limbaugh, he's an American. For those of you who are not American, he was an American political pundit, and he was on talk radio, and he'd say, conservative, right-wing political things. And the voice of Adrian Pius, I will thoroughly admit, is based on the voice and style of Rush Limbaugh, who I completely disagree with politically. Excuse me. But he has a style and a way of connecting with people that I can't deny. Now, he reminded me of Alex Jones a bit. If you hear Rush Limbaugh, you will know that Alex Jones, he can't not be influenced by Rush Limbaugh. Look up Rush Limbaugh. Alex Jones is like Rush Limbaugh turned up to 11. It's like the way Alex Jones distinguishes himself is by being more extreme. But it's like Rush Limbaugh got a bigger audience, again, saying things that I don't agree with. But I have a weird admiration for Rush Limbaugh because there's like a gajillion conservative pundits that I do not agree with. But because I basically had a stage in my life where I listened to conservative talk radio. And eventually I was like, I don't want to listen to anyone but Rush, because Rush is the best at talking about this stuff, and he is the one who says it in the most entertaining and interesting way. Yeah, Rush Limbaugh died. He passed away. Rush Limbaugh is just smooth-brained even by conservative standards. Like, maybe. I'm not here to, like... There is still something about the way he presented stuff that I can't help but admire because I've transitioned it into the Adrian Pius show. Like, what he does to make his own stuff appealing is what I do in the Adrian Pius show. And if you find the Adrian Pius show entertaining, it's because that's what Rush did. And as much as I thoroughly disagree with, I'm not like, I don't think of myself as like super liberal. I think I'm I'm a little bit on the left. If you like, but I like discussing things with people. But Rush Limbaugh had such an interesting way of communicating with people. Oh, Niels Ebsen. I was actually talking about you earlier. So what did I miss? P.S. I love your content. No, man. Niels, we have talked. Niels, I have recorded one of your stories. Niels, I have pimped out your story to the people talking in the stream. Don't talk to me like we haven't talked before. we Yeah, we're getting drunk here. We're having fun. All right, so boop, I'm empty. I'm gonna fill up again. So Niels, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna do it in the Adrian Pius voice because it entertains me. So Niels, what we're doing here is we're doing a drunk stream, and during the drunk stream, I will be having rum and cokes. So that's about as much rum as I'm having right now. It's a little bit difficult to see because you can't see the whole glass, but it's appreciable. It's at least a shot of rum for every, if not more, for every Coke that I've had. And we've been talking about all sorts of different things. We've been talking about politics. We've been talking about American stereotypes of different countries. We've been talking about everything that's under the sun. We even, this might shock you, but we even talked about Warhammer 40K for at least a little bit. Everything's kind of gone off the rails since then because, well, I've been drinking. But we've actually talked about you. All right, so it's full, and I'm going to drink some more. No, we do not need to talk about the No Man body pillow. But I want to put some respect on the names of Niels Ebsen, who's joined us, and I want to put some respect on Eric Rayner of King Lich. We have a lot of people who've been here before who I want to put some respect on their names. Ro Jaws has been here before. Kurt Langberg, have you been here before? Because I'm not recognizing the name. Definitely yes name. I have seen you around. I've seen you in the comments as well. And your obsession with the No Man body pillow is a little. We're getting to the point where this is a little disturbing. You know, Adrian Pius here. I enjoy No Man. I can listen to No Man all the time. No Man is top quality as far as I'm concerned. He is the smartest, most intelligent, most handsome individual that has ever existed. Barring the Emperor himself. But I would say that the people who are in chat right now are some of the most superlative people. Blanket, welcome back to the show. I am Adrian Pius, speaking for No Man, because No Man is in a bit of a drunken stupor, and not like an embarrassing drunken stupor, like an impressive drunken stupor. Like he's carrying himself very admirably despite his extensive intoxication, which, as you all know, if you are able to drink and not get drunk, that increases your manliness. If you could you don't have to accomplish things. You just need to drink, and clearly that is an accomplishment in and of itself. Oh, that's a lot of fun. Adrian Pius is like, I'm going to be honest, he's probably my most lucrative stream to do. If I did Adrian Pius every week, the only obstacle is I would run out of stuff to talk about. But I could just be Adrian Pius and make more money streaming. Klingons versus Orcs. Klingons is dead orky, but days too weak and puny compared to Orcs. That's Klingons are like Orcs light. They're the same archetype as Orcs in that they are like a martial, generally violent group of guys, but they're not as extreme as Orcs. Everything in 40k is extreme, including the tropes. I like Klingons, but they are not as orky as Orcs. They're just Orcs light. All right, Niels Ebsen putting in a denomination. So it comes up as DKK 50. I actually do not know what your denomination of like money is. I don't know what your currency is called. But your drunkenness is like that of the gods. I'll drink to that. So people are talking about Adrian Pius VTuber. I kind of would like to do either Adrian Pius or Og the Ogren as a VTube persona. But number one, I don't know. I need to spend a lot of money and do a lot of stuff in order to get a program to do VTubing, in order to get everything to work. I need to make sure I was doing it right, so I didn't expose myself, because I do not want people to see me as I don't want people to see my face. It's something I could do and something I might do in the future. But probably not super soon. I need to figure out what the heck I was doing. Yeah, Klingons are serious, and I don't think Klingons are as interesting as Orcs. Fan theory: the Emprah is the Emperor reborn. Now, this is a theory that I will not. It's part of the mystery of what is actually going on with the Emprah. Why are the Orcs basically following the same pattern of the Imperium? Why are they doing this? And theories like the Emprah from Kurt Leinberg, the Emperor and Imperium. No, somebody said it earlier. Am I messing it up? No. Okay, sorry, I'm getting things mixed up. The Emperor and Imperium is really the plan of the Emperor of Man. It's an interesting theory, and I do not want to discourage it. This is the sort of thing I want to encourage among my fans of what's actually going on. Because one of the things I would really, really like to do is have some fan stuff that comes out. I'd love some fan content regarding Imperium. I'm going to type this in chat. But that is the whole thing. noman40k@gmail.com. That is the email that if you ever want to send fan stuff to, specifically regarding Imperium and the Emperor, I kind of want to either do a live stream reading of fan fiction involving Imperium, or do an edited version. And that would I might do a poll later in the community center to kind of poll people and see what they think about it, what they would want to what they would want to see. But I kind of like the fan idea of the Emperor being sort of reincarnated, or somehow like a shard of his ends up into Emprah, or he's somehow influencing the events in Depurium. This is somehow part of his plan. I like that as an idea, and I'm not going to confirm or deny that that is what is actually going on, because I do have a canon explanation of what's going on, but I want to encourage people to explore that idea. And if you have your own ideas for stories, I definitely want to hear them. Is Depurium just a hallucination from the Blood Angels eating orcs? I do enjoy Brava Alhabusa. I'm still super sad that they stopped If the Emperor Had a Text-to-Speech Device. Still very sad that they stopped, and that they are. I do encourage people to check out their Patreon, because they are starting essentially a series based on TTS, but everything, basically all of the copyrighted stuff from GW is scrubbed. So they're going to continue in some fashion, because I'm part of their Patreon, and I've seen some of their samples of videos of what they're planning on doing. So if you decide to donate, I do encourage it, because they do have some interesting videos of stuff that they're going to do and they're currently working on. There was a glorious fan art of the Emprah. If there's more fan art, I would love to see it. Yeah, the coolest, I really loved the art on it, because it had so much detail in it, is a cockroach. Let me see if I can. I think this is what I just put it in the chat. They have a YouTube channel. They did the fan art of the Emperor. They sent it to me, and they're also working on their own story series. They're creating their own world of like different anthropomorphic critters in a space universe, where basically humanity's gone and there's kind of like remnants of humanity, but the solar system is mostly taken over. I don't know how far it goes out, if it goes beyond the solar system, but these different groups exist and are doing things. So he's currently working on that. If you check out Cockroach, you can just, if you look for that. The other thing is, if you look for the Emprah, you can find Cockroach on YouTube and look at his other stuff. But I absolutely would love for people to support his efforts in creating his own original universe surrounding that sort of stuff. He did really cool fan art of the Emprah. I really am interested in what he intends to do. I ought to check his channel, because YouTube's dumb about informing me of stuff that I'm subscribed to. But I absolutely would love for you guys to check out Cockroach and support. I'm actually gonna look up their YouTube channel and link it in chat, because I want to. Because if you look up the Emprah, it goes on for a little bit. Some people who are responding to my stuff. And here it is. All right. No, that's not it. Where is it in my own stuff? Is it in my own stuff? Here it is. All right, cool. I have turned off sound. Let me. Oh, he changed his name. He's now called Nitro Crusade, because that's like his world. It is here. Putting it up now. That is Nitro Crusade. He used to be Cockroach. He's now doing Nitro Crusade as his in-world universe. I highly encourage people to check out his stuff and encourage it, because it has a nice retro sci-fi feel, and it also has a bit of aspect of 40K. It's really, really nice. Wait, do Eric? What? I'm confused. What's going on? Hold on. What is it? The Emprah. Join life. It's so it's lame. GW is the worst. Cockroach. Something's going on. Neil Ebsen, A Drunk Mind is a clear one. Couldn't find it. Turns out the Danes. I am confused. I'm missing what's going on. The Danes and Poles are of one mind. I got a dip. It's been fun, y'all. All right. So long, Crazy Jay. I didn't even know you were here, but thank you. Thank you for sticking around. The Danes are based on Profedum. I am so lost into what's going on. Y'all confusing me. The solution is, of course, to drink more. This might be the longest stream I've ever had. I'm approaching 3 hours. Profederationdom? I don't know. I'm just guessing at stuff. Who else do I want to give the word out on? Oh, I guess Vanguard. If anybody hasn't heard of Vanguard, I'm going to pull up Vanguard stuff too. I'm going to put that in chat. Because Vanguard did a series. I want to encourage him to keep going. Because basically he started doing a spin-off of Og the Ogren. He did Dale the Bulgren, and he did a couple of them pretty quickly. Dale the Bulgren, he's done 3 episodes of Dale the Bulgren. I'm going to put it up right now. Boop. Excuse me. He's done 3 episodes of Dale the Bulgren, and I'd like to encourage him to do more. I know he's been busy recently, but that's another fan creator that I want to encourage and see what he's all about. So if anybody hasn't done stuff. Eric Rayner, you're drunk. I'm going to give up typing for a bit. All right, Eric, one more thing that I want to ask you while typing. How much have you had? And give me alcohol percentage. Because I want to see if I can outdrink the Polski. If I can outdrink the Polishman. If I can outdrink the Pole. What you got? How drunk are you? Because I'm working on number 4 for rum and coke, of which I at least have had a shot of each one. 1/4 of the bottle of wine. Yeah, but how big is your bottle of wine? Because you made it sound like it was really big. Because a bottle of wine... Bottle of vodka so far? How big? Are you doing a 5th of vodka? If you did a 5th of... It'd be in 666. If you did a bottle, even if it's not a full handle, a 5th of vodka? That's a lot. Holy cow. Okay. The wine has to be strong. Again, I've drunk a half bottle of wine at dinner. Wait, 70, that's a lot. That's a lot. 75, no, part of the liter. That's about what a normal bottle of wine is. As a Dane, I've been quaffing an ale and meat all evening. All right. We'll see. We'll see who can continue to drink and not be an embarrassment. I gotta represent the good old U.S. of A. land of freedom and all that. Woo! His face is a bit paralyzed. Goodness. Well, I'm still streaming, and as far as chat has said, I am not embarrassing myself yet. But it has been going on for a little while. I'm approaching 3 hours. I like mead. Mead is tasty. I've had sweet mead, and I've also had super dry mead, both of which are super nice. My husband actually has made mead in the past. He hasn't made it recently, but he has made some excellent mead. We actually had some friends of ours get married, and he gave a number of bottles of mead to them as part of his wedding gift to them. They were a straight couple, so male and female, but like super good friends of ours, loved them to pieces. He gave them as their wedding present a number of bottles of mead, and they gave those bottles of mead to. So basically, when they had their wedding and their reception, they took the bottles of mead and put one on each table of people who were there. So everyone had a chance to try the mead, and the mead had been aged for like 2-3 years. It was dry, but it was so smooth. It was so smooth. I can't even describe it, because to me it didn't taste like mead. It was just like, this is beautiful. It's just beautiful. Living with a brewer, he's not brewing right now. That was sort of like an interest of his, and I bet if he wanted to, he could go back to it. But he hasn't brewed stuff recently. Honestly, if I wanted to, I could brew my own stuff. I did make I did make my own mead at one point, and it tasted pretty good. I've made cider in the past, but it was kind of wild cider. My wine does not even last 1 year. I make 50 bottles of it. Okay. Well, the big thing about wine and mead is boiling the water ahead of time. And I'm just going to do mead as an example. Because mead is basically water and honey and yeast, and then you wait. But you boil the water ahead of time so it's clean, and then as long as bacteria can't get in it, it's going to be it won't spoil. It'll just get better with age. If you are able to make sure that stuff that doesn't produce vinegar, bacteria that don't produce vinegar can't get in, your wine and stuff is just going to get better and better. Your mead and wine are just going to get better and better and better. I think for wine, it's a little bit different. For like grape-based wine, it's a little bit different. But honey doesn't spoil. So I think mead, when he made his mead that was super, super duper kept well, it just tasted so smooth and so good. And there wasn't a hint of vinegar in it. It was so tasty. I made my wine like that, but like most alcohol, I made wine, but that's like the most easy alcohol to make. Okay, easier than wine. Easier than wine is cider. If you grind up apples, press them, get apple cider, and then literally just set it aside for a couple weeks, it will ferment on its own, because apples have yeast, natural yeast, that exist on the skin of the apples. Now, cider, if you just make it like that, it will eventually go bad because you're not boiling it or making sure that other bacteria isn't going to turn it into vinegar. But if you grind up apples and press them, that will just turn into cider and turn into pretty good cider. I like cider. Apple cider makes me puke. I suspect I'm allergic to apples. That maybe. possibly. Whoa, 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 whoa! 14 and drinking. Are you the coolest uncle? Or what? Whoa, whoa, whoa! What's going on? Are people here? I have this thing I do when people when people close to be have children. I brew mead for them. So there's mead when they turn 14 or 18. All right, in the good old US of A, we have a drinking age of 21. 14's awfully young. But hey, y'all are strange foreigners with your strange foreign ways. I'm not here to judge, I'm just here to judge. I'm not here to judge, I'm just here to judge. Different countries have different aspects of like stuff that they I think being a teenager is I mean, again, this is from a psychology point of view, but like drinking, especially drinking a lot, has an impact on your brain development. If you're like 14 and you have drinks, like a drink occasionally, or you drink with a meal, or like whatever, that's probably fine. But if you're drinking, like I'm drinking right now, which is being an irresponsible adult, you should not be drinking the amount that I'm drinking when you're 14. It's bad for your brain. It makes you drinking super early makes you vulnerable to problems. I would just say problems. What we got? Gotta respect 21 as drinking age is the wisest thing the U.S. does. Sorry for the dig. Hey, I can take it. I am a grown adult. I know a lot of people across the world throw shade at the U.S. Actually, let's do that next. Let's do that. We got a lot of people from around the world. Let's throw some shade at the U.S. in a fun way. We're not here to get like real nasty. We're not here to get like to start yelling at each other. But we can go through some stereotypes of the U.S. and you go to some of the negative stuff. But we're gonna keep it fun. I trust y'all. As I've said many times, you are all sophisticated, intelligent, reasonable people. Let's get some U.S. stereotypes from around the world. So let's get. I know where Eric and Niels Ebsen are from, but you know, if you want to, you can state your country and you can talk some shit about the U.S. That's fine by me. But the U.S. is a pretty cool guy? I think so. Say anything about Florida, and it will probably be true. Florida man is... So, for those of you that are not familiar with Florida, Florida is the little peninsula on the east coast of the United States. It's the little hanging down part that looks like a gun, and it also kind of looks like a dong. Florida has an interesting law where basically the right to privacy is limited. So I can't remember how the law works, but the result is that they can report on crazy crap that people do in their local papers. So as a result, there is a meme among the United States, which is Florida man. Because if you look at the newspapers, there's always crazy things that, quote, Florida man has done. So it's like, Florida man yells, fuck alligators, and jumps into an alligator-filled pond and then dies. There's also, what was the other one? It was, Florida man claims that 8 syringes that were hidden up his anus do not belong to him. It's just basically the lowest crappy, because of the laws of Florida, they're allowed to disclose bonkers crap that the lowest of the low people have done. And so there's a meme of Florida Man. Florida Man is just a crazy, insane person. All right, Niels Ebsen, you have spent some money. As I say, Danes are gonna Dane. What I do is brew mead for people close to me, so they have mead for when they are at their children are 14, confirmation age. So there's mead ready for them at the rite of passage. As a Catholic, I appreciate confirmation if that's what you're referring to. However, Niels, you have now donated at the threshold of me making a drunken idiot of myself, so I will take my dragon, which, dragon, little dragon shot glass. I gotta take that, and I gotta fill it with tequila, and I gotta drink it. So this might be the beginning of me making a genuine idiot of myself while doing the stream, but c'est la vie. Prost, slanche. Fuck, I can't remember the Polish toast. I can't look it up now. I'm going to drink now. Drinking now. Zdrawi. Zdrawi. That's probably close. Woo! Woo! Whew! Whew! All right. 3 shots of tequila, 4 rum and cokes. Get on my level. Get on my level. Zdrawi? Zdrawi? I just say it with a funky accent, it'll work. It's totally fine. Americans don't know how to count. It's usually from lowest to highest, small, medium, large, day, month, year. So why do you month, day, year? It's because of the way we say things. All right, I'm going to educate y'all. So today's date, according to America, is as follows in chat. That's how America says the date. Because when you say what the date is, you say October 15th, 2021. That's the way we say it. So that's the way we write it. Done. Done. Eric can try to bully me. Let Eric try to bully me. Eric can try to bully me all he wants. But in the end, I am American, and we have the nuclear arsenal to annihilate all life on Earth 20 times over if we felt like it. I hate to drop my balls on that because I have nothing to do with how powerful the United States is. I'm just like a dude. But it's fun to have pride in something I have no control over. All in good fun. All in good fun. Don't worry, Trump doesn't have control of the big red button no more. Y'all good. Y'all laughing, but what? At least us and Russia do have the nuclear arsenal, if we wanted to end all human life on Earth. Just putting it out there. Ha, joke's on you. You gave us anti-missile thingies against the Russians. We can handle your nukes. All right, here's the thing, Eric Rayner. The United States has a nuclear defense setup. If everyone launched nukes at us, if Russia has enough, I think China has enough, we actually can't stop all of them. So regardless of what anti-nuke system you have, if someone decided to be like, nah, if someone with a significant nuclear arsenal would be like, nah, push the big red button, y'all probably don't have enough. North Korea? Yeah. North Korea could not do it. Some of the smaller nuclear powers can't do it. But like the big ones, the ICBM folks, y'all don't have enough. I'm just being real. I'm being real. Y'all have y'all can swag your country all you want. It's cool. It's cool. Like I get it, and it's cool. But I'm not gonna lie on my drunk stream. Anyone want Fallout to be for real? No. I like the way the world. The world, as far as the standard life of people that exist in the world right now, it's never been better than this. I have the internet. I can play video games. I can take a crap and not worry about people coming and killing me. I am so secure and comfortable right now, and I can do anything I want if I put my mind to it. I really can. If I put all of my will to doing something, the modern world is so much better than the ancient or medieval world. If you're a peasant in the modern world, it's not a guarantee. You can be in situations that are really crappy, but now is the best time that's ever been, and I believe that it's going to get better. The now is the best time it's ever been, and as long as we don't blow everyone up, it's going to get better. I'll be real. Oh, the people. There'll be food shortages in 2 decades, at most electrical shortages too. Electrical shortages are not the most difficult thing to deal with, and no. Like literally the United States on its own. If the United States produced food at capacity, this is actually something I know because I have done some agricultural research. I used to work on a farm. If the United States wanted to, just the United States, we could produce everything the world needed to eat 7 times over. 7 times over. Nah, we can feed a lot more people. Heck, the Indian Green Revolution can indicate how much more we can produce if we literally feel like it. No. It's not an overpopulation. The big overpopulation issue is mostly carbon emissions, from what I understand. It's not just food. Water is even more important. Yes. Water's super important. Niels coming in. Niels, you haven't run out of your donation earlier. What is your native dialect? And B, would you care to read a bit of flash fiction? What is my native dialect? This is my native dialect. I am talking as normal as I can to you right now. I'm not putting on an act for you right now. I've had too much to drink. This is it. This is my native dialect. Flash fiction sounds close to slash fiction, which I don't know if you are familiar with. The good old US of A definition of slash fiction is 2 characters being in a relationship, generally sexual. If you look up fan fiction or like I want slash fiction, you're talking about 2 characters knocking boots. If I'm to use I think it's mostly Western United States slang. Knocking boots. Flash fiction, yes. Explain. Yes, explain. But I'm trying to figure out. All right, if you want to know what I'm probably fairly neutral because I can do a lot of different American accents. I think I'm pretty standard American. I'm Northeast is where I'm born. I'm in the Northeast. I don't want to go more into that than that. Um, but if you had the accent of Boston, Boston kind of sounds like this. Uh, New York has kind of a lot of different accents, but like a lot of people, what people think of as New York accents, kind of sound like Brooklyn accent. This is kind of what you sound for if you're doing like a New York or a Brooklyn kind of accent. Um, I'm kind of bland, generic American. I honestly can't tell you if I'm influenced by location. I'm generally Northeast. I think I'm kind of influenced because of television that I have a pretty normal American accent. I don't sound like a whole lot of other things. All right, flash fiction is a brief moment of fiction. I sure post what do you want me to do? American dialect is American. You have a lot of American accents. If you if you're talking about like, some Minnesotan accent, you got the Minnesotan accent. They all kind of yeah, don't you know that's a Minnesotan accent. Um, if you're talking about the Pittsburgh accent, that sort of sounds like this. You're talking about downtown Pittsburgh and the Steelers. You got Chicago accents, so you're talking about the Bears and all there's a bunch of things. If you're talking about a Southern American, sort of an antebellum Southeast American. Now I'm getting into Rocky accent, but if I'm too drunk, I don't know if I can do a Southern accent. But if you are a sort of antebellum South accent, you are a gentleman and you are considered to be. I'm messing it up. It's not perfect, but that's vaguely what a South. Uh, there's absolutely positively different American accents. Absolutely. For Minnesota, we don't have the Fargo. Minnesotan accent. This is it's the Minnesotan accent is stereotypically sounds like that. Um, while y'all don't necessarily sound like that, that is the generic accent that people think. Canadians mostly sound like Americans, except they have funny pronunciations of like out. So, Kumanut, Utnabut, that's mostly what Canadian sounds like. Like, yes, Minnesotan does sound more like Canadian, but it's not exactly. There's a lot of things that sound close to, and I have one of the big things is I had a bunch of Romanian people that I knew, and people were like, "What does Romanian accent sounds like?" And I wanted to tell them it sounds like Russian, but it doesn't sound like Russian because I imagine Romanians don't want to sound like Russians. Unabut. They do. Canadians also don't like the stereotype of Canadians is the Mackenzie brothers. Hey, we're the Mackenzie brothers, eh? We're trying to do all this kind of thing, and we're sounding kind of like this, and yeah, we're drinking lots of beers, eh? That's not the way I've heard Canadians sound. Canadians kind of sound like Americans with like most Canadians. I think you can probably get people who have more pronounced accents, but most Canadians sound like Americans until you get to until you get to specific words. Oot and boot. I will say, if I'm in a rush, I will say out in the way that Canadians do, because I work at a restaurant, and when it's like, if you're coming around a corner, I will say, all right, coming out. I don't say out. I say oot, coming out, because it's easier to say. It's something that if you're doing accents, you have to understand that the way someone says words, the reason a group says words a certain way is because it's easier to say it with the accent that they're saying. It's easier to say it with a certain accent that they're saying. It's a filter. It's a certain, because they say their words a certain way. Certain foreign words or certain words, they're speaking in the most efficient way that they have. I think this might be the longest stream I've ever had. Niels Ebsen coming through again. I think I have to send a super chat and then just sending the piece of flash fiction over a series of messages. You can link it. If you have a link, I can click on it. All right, so you sent a super chat. You got a flash fiction for me that you want me to read? I'll read it. It'll be great. Probably. I'm gonna have to sober up after this. I still gotta go. I have to go shopping. Blah. Niels Ebsen's new Daddy Warbucks. Oh man, how many non-Americans know who Daddy Warbucks is? That's so freaking specific. All right. Niels Ebsen is posting stuff. I'm going to try to do my serious voice. He awoke in a world of white. The snowfall must have just started during the night. For when he had curled up to sleep, there had been but a chill in the air. Okay. I will keep. All right, here we go. Keep going. He arose and shook his luxurious fur. The fresh snow fell off in an explosion of white. I'll keep going, Niels. I'll keep going. You keep laying it down, I'll keep going. Gonna be honest right now, we're getting a little furry vibe going on here. We might be talking about an animal. She had told him when he was young about his Lord Father, how he had come from the north. I'm rocking it. I'm feeling it and I'm rocking it. Let's keep going. See, that's distinctly not furry. That's less furry. Could be an Indian not true fur. No. The presence of fur does not mean furry. I got my own definition of furry, but it's not a flattering definition. Some of my fans might be furries, and if that's your thing, do your thing. But my definition of furry is kind of like my definition of Christian music. If a thing has Christian themes and it's good, it's not Christian music. If a thing has Christian themes and it's like bland and boring, then it's a Christian song. All right, continuing with Niels Ebsen, or let's rock with this. Let's keep going. over the mountains and into the valley of Bruya, and that his fur had been thick and grey, and how fierce he had been in his passion for her. Despite his small stature among the lords and ladies of Bruya, he had fought and overthrown every suitor and wooed her with his ferocity, with ferocious poetry of hunts and duels, of her beauty, and of the numberless pines of his homeland. This he thought of as he groomed his paws and legs and chest and trotted down the snowy slope of Mount Rosehorn and into the valley of Bruya and the fresh dawn. I'll keep going. You paid me. I'll keep going. I'm having fun. Let's do it. Y'all be the judge. You can be the judge, jury, and executioner of furry. But the important thing is, boop. Oh crap! Oh crap! All right, I've had enough to drink. I think I'm gonna start sobering. Is lame. I don't like the concept of furry is not. People can do what they want to do. I don't have a problem if people want to be furries. It's what they want to do. It's the it's more like I think there's a problem in furry culture, and I don't know that much about furry culture, but there's definitely a point at which furry stuff goes from being interesting to being cringe. And unfortunately, a lot of stuff in furry culture is cringe. That's the way. That's just kind of it. Eric, you do your thing. This is all good fun. Nobody's mad here. Nobody's upset. We're doing what we do. I joined the stream late, but have you ever been asked if you had any training in voice work or TV or audio, radio? No, nope. I've never had official training. I've never paid anyone to train me. I was 10 and I started doing a voice impression of like Pumbaa from The Lion King, which funnily enough I can't do anymore. I'm gonna give it a try because I'm drunk and I want to, but it's like Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase, which doesn't sound like Pumbaa. But when I was little, I thought that my Pumbaa voice sounded dead on, awesome, and perfect. And then I had my Timon voice. Shoot. I'm trying to think of a Timon line. Yeah, but what if he was on our side? Which, the Nathan Lane line. But basically, I started from there and was like, holy cow, I can, like, do voices. I can sound differently than somebody else. Excuse me. I'm drinking water at this point. Gentlemen of the stream, I have turned to drinking water, mostly because I'm out of soda, and I'd have to go back up if I wanted to get more rum and Coke. I have one more Coke left if I want to do more rum and Coke. But, of course, if you wanted to make me more embarrassed, if you wanted to, like, make me drink more and make more of a fool of myself, you can still donate $25, and I will have yet another shot of tequila. At this point, I'm sobering. Unless y'all demand that I keep drunk. You know what? I think about 90% of the stream has had nothing to do with 40K, which is what my channel is about. No, I'm chugging the water. Can I see? See? That's about halfway? More than halfway. More than halfway I've drunk of the bottle of water that I have. I'm going to take care of myself and get ready for the stuff I plan to do after I'm done streaming. My goodness. There we go. It's centered. It wasn't centered. Put it back on me. Okay, better chug that water. Oh, my goodness. There's oh my goodness. There's so much stuff. I just ingest. Blah, 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 blah. The bunny from Zootopia is a 2. Yeah, I'm not impressed with how... All right. Let me be real here. So I've seen Zootopia, and we had Judy Hopps, Bunny, and we had Nick, whatever the frickin' fox's name is, Nick something. I don't care. But people had a weird furry awakening. I think some furries are like all about Zootopia because it's furry date. But as far as like furries to have an awakening to, I guess, I'm not impressed by Judy Hopps, and I'm not impressed by Nick, whatever the fox's last name was. Like, whatever. They're whatever. So there's like a lot. There's so much Zootopia porn, I guess. If you're under 18, please kindly leave the stream, because we're talking about grown-up adult stuff, like this stuff that is kind of not terribly mature. Niels Ebsen with the donation. Can you confirm that A, you have forest cats in the New World, and B, they're called Maine Coons? Shoot, I have feral cats in my backyard. They're not Maine Coons. I have seen a Maine Coon. I have held a Maine Coon. I have petted a Maine Coon. They are the biggest, chunkiest, fluffiest, most affectionate cats ever. If you like dogs and have thought about having a cat, have a Maine Coon, because they are big chunguses and they are adorable. I have been around a couple Maine Coons. I was around a cat that was part Maine Coon. She was too small to be a true Maine Coon, but she was super fluffy. She was super affectionate. People say Maine Coons are like dogs, and I like Maine Coons because they are low maintenance like cats, but they're like affectionate like dogs. If you ever have a chance to get a Maine Coon, I'd recommend it. Guys, I think I'm reaching the end. I think I'm getting to... Oh, Nick Wilds. That's it. Nick Wilds, whatever his name is. Maine Coons are super. Every experience I've had with Maine Coons, one which was a part Maine Coon and one which was a full Maine Coon, they're super sweet cats. I like them. I actually have a dog that's the right amount of dog and the right amount of cat. He is a German Shepherd flat coat retriever mix, and he's somewhat independent, so he can kind of do his own thing, but he's also super affectionate. He's super obedient. He does what I tell him to do, so it's kind of like a good mix of both cats and dogs. You finished with the day, then, brother. You deserve an end to this day's work. Well, we're approaching 4 hours, so I think I've been going for a pretty good amount of time. We're at 3.5. And I think we've all had a good time. I think we've all done a bunch of stuff. We've talked about Warhammer, we've talked about countries, we've talked about furries, which generally means we've talked about everything. The Danish word for Maine Coon translates literally translates into American forest cat. Pretty much. That's pretty much what they are. Almost half of FF stream time. Look, I can't stream, like, I actually am pretty impressed by people that stream for like 6, 8, 12 hours at a time. I can't do it. I literally can't do it. It's too much stuff. It's way too much stuff. I can't do it. So I have a lot of respect for people that stream forever and keep keep chat entertained, to keep saying stuff all the time, to like be able to split their focus between the game they're playing and responding to chat. I'm impressed. Like, for me, streaming, it makes me more impressed with the people that stream, like, seriously. I stream once a week, and I typically stream an hour and a half to 2 hours. Streaming long is really hard. It's really hard to keep blabbering your mouth and continue to be entertaining. But all right. I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of time to, if you want to donate, or if you have anything you want me to say, you have anything you want me to comment on, we're gonna go through a couple minutes, but we're kind of winding down here. I've had a ton of fun. Doing the drunk stream has been very entertaining. I'm sobering now, and honestly getting ready to. I have to go do food shopping and go out and do other normal people stuff. They do not respond to chat that much. Your streams are better. That's why I go for them over any other stream. Yeah, I want to respond to chat. You guys are the ones who make me do things. Now, to be fair to other streamers, when you are a popular streamer with like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people watching your stream and post and like respond, blah 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 blah, post, it's so hard to react to everything. Way too much. Like, I get it. I have the luxury of having, right now I have 12 people in chat. I can respond to what chat says. And, I am sorry about people who have bajillions of people in chat and they just can't. There's no way. If I had 2, 3, 4 times the number of people that I have in chat right now, I don't know if I'd be able to like look and respond. As it is, it's hard. There's so much stuff you guys have said that I haven't seen. It's just too much. As it is right now, it's too much. I can respond to some stuff, but not everything. And on this stuff, I just do. So I appreciate all of you. I appreciate my fans. I appreciate the time we've spent together. I appreciate everyone who's donated. Niels Ebson, Eric Rayner. Oh my goodness, I'm too drunk. I can't remember who's all donated. But I do appreciate every single person who's donated. It makes a ton of difference. It enables me to do what I do, and I thank you very much. All right, Matthew Casper with the donation, just thanking you for all the great work you do, Nomanicus. Good gravy. I hope I'm not Nomanicus. Nomanicus is an idiot. But he's also sort of me. He's like every single insecurity that I have. Nomanicus is honestly every insecurity that I have. But we're past 3.5 hours. I think we've gone on for a long time. Thank you all so much for coming along. I appreciate you all for having a good time. Thank you all for drinking alongside with me. But I think it's time to sign off the No Man drunk stream. It's been good. I'm going to get my bam, big ol' thumbs up. Big ol' thumbs up to all of you. I'm going to go sober. I'm going to go pee. I'm going to go chill out. It's been an awesome time. I've had fun. I hope you all did. But so long to everybody. I think I'm going to end the stream right here. This has been the longest stream we've had, I think. But it's been fun. Good times. Good times. All right. So long, everybody. See ya. Hold on. Whoa. Niels Ebsen comes in with the big one. All right, this is too much. This is too much of a big donation. I'm not ending yet. There's this Appalachian woman whom I'm hugely into, and she's like the hillbilliest woman ever, and she is into me. She is waxing sentimental. Anyway, do a shout out to Miss Christina Nadine Murphy. All right, you caught me. I was literally about to hit end stream, but Niels Ebsen has called out in his time of need. Christina Nadine Murphy. I'm calling out to you, but Niels Ebsen. Let's get this to work out. I'm putting my word in for Niels Ebsen that he is a quality individual who will treat you right, and you both will have a great time together. Let's get some Niels Ebsen in chat. Let's get some Niels. Shout out. Let's do it. Let's make it big. Christine Nadine Murphy, props to you. You have someone who very much cares about you, who has put money down on you, who has very much expressed their affection and care for you. If he has done these things for some jerk on the internet, who he has some affection for, think of the effort he's going to put into you. Think of the value he has for you. So let's give it up for Niels, ending the stream on a super high note, ending the stream for a lady that he cares about, for Miss Christina Nadine Murphy. Give him a chance. He's a solid individual. Every interaction I've had from him has been indicative of, and I'm honest here, this isn't just because he threw money at me. Like, he seems like a genuinely decent dude. He seems like a guy that cares about stuff, that if you're interested in with him, if you're down to Niels, that Ebsen, he seems like a solid dude. So thank you, chat. Giving props to Niels. I think I'm going to end here at 3 hours and 40 minutes of drunk stream. I hope I kept it enough together. to keep y'all entertained, but I'm out of drink. I'm out of soda, and I'm not gonna drink straight rum or tequila going forward. But it has been a fantastic time, guys. This has been fun. So, no man truly out. I'm gonna end it here. Excuse me. Been a great time. Had a lot of fun. I will see all of you on Monday when I release my next thing. So long.